Chapter 1404. The mystery of the archery way. You sensed the ferocious attacks outside and said with a frown, This life is the same as your previous life. You always provoke all kinds of powerful enemies. How did you and I meet in our previous life? Qin Yun asked. He is rather curious about his relationship with Yu. I was deceived by your flowery words and became your coolie. Later on, you framed me and then besieged me. Finally, I was sealed in the nether moon desolate domain. Yu lightly groaned and said, You are truly a jinx. You wasted so much of my time. Otherwise, I would have already entered the sacred wasteland when I am already at the great emperor level. Yu's talent is extremely good. Back then, she used a very short period of time to become an immortal king. Adding her beauty, she was very famous in the immortal desolate back then. Recalling the past, Yu is still very angry. She grumbled. Do you know, back then, many cats and dogs were much weaker than me. But now, they are all immortal emperors, the same level as me. How infuriating! Yu, maybe it's a good thing that you did not enter the sacred desolate? Qin Yun said with smile. Otherwise, you wouldn't have met Rujing and you wouldn't have seen the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Also, if you obtain the nether moon, it will be of great help to you in the future. It was my good fortune to have met Rujing. She helped me a lot. She was once the ice and snow goddess and now she is stranded in the immortal desolate. It is truly a pity. Yu said. Both she and I want the sun-suppressing divine arrow. We only need one. That way, our moon palace will be able to possess even greater power. Is the sun-suppressing divine arrow really that important? Qin Yun only knew that the sun-suppressing divine arrow contained a sun totem. Furthermore, it hid the 9 Desolates' greatest secret. Of course it's important. Not only is the sun-suppressing divine arrow a very strong weapon, it also hides a very big secret inside. If I can obtain it and decipher the secret inside, I can obtain very strong power. Yu picked up her clothes and covered her chest. She is worried that Qin Yun will suddenly run to the front to see her. Now there are only 3. I also want to take one, Qin Yun said. You can destroy a sun altar. You might really have a way to get the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Yu's heart stirred and she said, Qin Yun, after I go out and kill those guys, I'll take you to the vicinity of the sun-suppressing divine arrow to take a look. Are the devil immortal great emperor and immortal desolate great emperor nearby? Qin Yun asked. They are all here. But don't worry, they won't dare to attack me. Back then, it was these 2 groups of people who destroyed the Guanghan Palace. But now is different, their strength is no longer enough to kill me. Yu said, I heard from Yu that your previous life was killed by these 2 fellows. Really? Qin Yun also vaguely guessed that only these 2 great emperors could kill him in his previous life. Don't worry. Just wear a mask when the time comes. Don't let them see you. Yu stroked the white hair on her chest and asked, When can you help me carve the nether moon totem? Do you need 8 or 10 days? No need, it will be done very quickly, in about an hour. Qin Yun said with smile. How could he be so fast? That is the nether moon totem. Your cultivation is not high but your inscription technique is even stronger than your previous lives. Yu is very astonished. Qin Yun smiled and did not speak. He continued carving the nether moon totem. And the trembling outside continued for a moment before finally stopping. Qin Yun, hurry up and come out. If you don't cooperate with us obediently, just wait until we destroy this broken stone building of yours. You'll have a good time. The people outside shouted. We were entrusted by the Sun God sect to come and capture you. You are just a little upper immortal, don't struggle. Even if you can hide once, you won't be able to hide a second time or a third time. Think about it, you will spend your entire life running for your life. What's the point of that? Cooperate with us and come back with us. I guarantee that you won't be killed. At most, you will be imprisoned. Since you can destroy the sun altar, it means that you have a certain level of strength. You might even be fancied by the Dao Yang divine sect and be accepted as a disciple. When the few immortal kings outside fought with Azure Dragon, many of their sacred tools were damaged and they are temporarily unusable. They are also very puzzled. They originally thought that after coming to the immortal desolate from the sacred desolate, they could rely on sacred tools and sacred body and sacred spirit to walk unhindered in the immortal desolate. When they saw Azure Dragon obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow, they thought that they could easily snatch it, so they decisively attacked. They never expected that they would be taught a lesson by the Azure Dragon. Yu said with sneer, "These idiots, they actually use such words to deceive you. In your previous life, you specialized in deceiving people. If you had 70% of your previous life's power, you would definitely be able to deceive those guys to death." "My previous life was really awesome," Qin Yun said with a smile. "Isn't that so? If you didn't have some ability, you wouldn't have been able to deceive so many immortal desolate beauties to sell their lives for you." Yu looked around and said, "What's going on with this stone building? Its defense is actually so powerful, did you refine it? Give me one too." "No, I picked it up," Qin Yun said. "Don't try to deceive me. How can it be so easy to pick up such a powerful thing?" Yu said with a look of disbelief. "Where did you get it?" "I really picked it up." Qin Yun has no other choice but to tell Yu about how he obtained the floating cloud pagoda. "You bastard, how can your luck be so good?" Yu said with great jealousy. "You seem to have a sun soul, right? Did you rely on the sun soul to tear down the sun altar?" And the sun soul is the 9 sun divine hammer. Because the sun fell, it needs to absorb the core fragment to awaken. Qin Yun smiled. Yu, I owed you in my previous life, but I know in this life that I will definitely make it up to you. When I have enough strength in the future, I will help you refine this kind of defensive building. You don't need to make it up to me. Later on, I thought about it carefully. Back then, I followed you for so long and it seems like I didn't suffer any losses. I still got a lot of benefits from you." Yu sighed softly. "Although you are a bastard, you still have a bottom line." Not long after, Qin Yun finished carving the nether moon totem. So fast. Yu closed her eyes. She can feel the nether moon totem on her back fusing into her body bit by bit. It must be known that this nether moon totem has been evolved by Momo. It is an immortal tier nether moon totem. My mental power should increase by a lot because of this. Looks like I have to find time to go into seclusion in the future and properly familiarize myself with the nether moon totem. I can also ask Yu how to cultivate. Yu's mood became a lot better. Her expression is no longer that ice-cold. She turned her back to Qin Yun and put on her clothes. After she finished putting on her clothes, she turned around and looked at Qin Yun. She smoothed the straight white hair hanging on her chest behind her back. Her beautiful eyes are filled with warmth as she asked, "I'll do whatever you want me to do. I'll do what I say. Just now, you carved the totem for me, so it doesn't count. You still have a chance now." Yu is wearing a dress under her black robe, but her tall and slender figure can still be seen. Her curves are extremely beautiful and alluring. "Do you want to CK me? If you have the guts, come at me. My cultivation is higher than yours. When the time comes, don't blame me if I torment you to death." Yu saw Qin Yun's eyes looking up and down her delicate body, and then puffed out her chest. Her beautiful eyes are filled with confidence as she said, "I knew you wouldn't dare. You're just like a bird in your previous life." You and Big Sister Yang are twins. Which one of you is the big sister?" Qin Yun suddenly asked. "I'm the big sister. I'm older than her." "What? Did she tell you that she's the big sister?" "That damned girl, how many times has she said that I'm older than her?" Yu cursed in low voice. "From today onwards, you are the little sister." Qin Yun faintly smiled. You're not allowed to fight with Yu over being the big sister. You bastard, come at me. Yu is somewhat angry and said with sneer, Come. I'm not interested in you. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, I don't believe it. Yu's face is filled with disdain. She really wants to kick Qin Yun to death. He actually has no interest in her at all. Boom. The immortal kings outside began attacking the floating cloud pagoda again. These bastards, I want to pinch them to death. Yu spoke and took out a long black staff. At the top of the staff is a crescent moon. Open the door, let me go out and kill them. Yu walked to the door and said with murderous intent. After Qin Yun opened the door, he saw a few white-robed old men outside. When they saw a cold and elegant white-haired beauty standing at the door, they immediately became anxious and angry. Qin Yun, you bastard, you are actually having fun inside. You made us fight outside for so long. An old man cursed angrily. Old donkey from Sacred Desolate, what kind of filthy things are you thinking about in your head? Yu walked out and waved her staff. The black crescent moon at the top of the staff suddenly surged with black gas, giving rise to a cold gale. A black light beam fiercely shot towards the old man's head. The old man screamed miserably and immediately started bleeding from his 7 orifices. Qin Yun is secretly alarmed. This is Yu's mental power attack. She's an immortal emperor. An old man shouted in alarm. Quickly run! Run! Yu raised her staff high and a black energy barrier suddenly descended from the sky. After the energy barrier descended, the few old men collided with it and immediately screamed miserably again and again. Their bodies were penetrated by a cold mental power and strange immortal power. It is very painful. Kill! An old man took out a golden sword and was about to stab. Yu suddenly transformed into a burst of cold wind and arrived behind the old man in a flash. Her staff struck towards the old man's head. The crescent moon at the top of the staff is a very sharp scimitar. It cut open the old man's head. With your level of sacred body, you still want to dominate the immortal desolate? Courting death. Yu dealt with these immortal kings like crushing ant. After a few rounds, those immortal kings were all killed by her and they died very miserably. What caused Qin Yun to be shocked is that after Yu killed those few old men, she stored their corpses. It is unknown what she wants to do. Wear the mask. I'll take you to the vicinity of the sun-suppressing divine arrow. If you help me get a sun-suppressing divine arrow, I won't treat you unfairly. Yu's ice-cold eyes suddenly flashed with a trace of charm. Don't seduce me. I won't fall for it. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, I'll help you get the sun-suppressing divine arrow, you help me quickly become stronger. Your Guang Han Palace has a moon god mountain, there should be many good things on it. Chapter 1405. Sensing Yang Heartyue, you took out a white mask and a black robe, handed them to Qin Yun and said, Same as mine. Those immortal kings were killed, will they be fine? Qin Yun asked. I'm worried that they have accomplices nearby. As long as it's not an immortal emperor, I'm not afraid of them. Even if the immortal emperors come, I can still hold them off for a period of time, enough for you to escape. After Yu saw that Qin Yun was dressed, she pulled Qin Yun and sword into the sky. She quickly flew towards the direction of the sun-suppressing divine arrow. There were only 3 sun-suppressing divine arrows left. Xieqiru Qin Long, the 9 Extinction Sect Master, the Netherworld Emperor, the young mystic immortal of the Long family, and Azure Dragon each took 1. Qin Yun is being pulled by Yu to quickly fly. The little black donkey suddenly contacted him. He quickly took out the magic mirror and asked, Little Black, where are you? I'll go with Big Brother Green Dragon. Little mortal, I know the secret to obtaining the sun-suppressing arrow. The black donkey laughed. Alright, did you run far? Don't go back, or you'll be killed by those immortal kings. What's the secret? Asked Qin Yun hurriedly. It's to sense the heart of the sun. As long as you're in the 9 wastelands, you'll be able to sense the heart of the sun. After successfully sensing it and obtaining the recognition of the sun's core, you will be able to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow. The little black donkey said, "In any case, I'm done. I'll follow Brother Green Dragon to a secret place now. In order to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow, you have to complete a mission." After Qin Yun heard this, he thought of Xie and Qin Long. They have their own things to do. "Little mortal, we'll meet again if fate wills it. I'm going to have some fun with Big Brother Azure Dragon, ha," the black donkey said smugly. Qin Yun put away the magic mirror. His face is solemn. He used mental power to communicate with the little black donkey. Yu, who is beside him, did not hear it. "What's wrong?" Yu saw that Qin Yun is lost in thought and immediately slowed down and asked. "A friend just told me about the secret to obtaining the sun-suppressing divine arrow." Qin Yun said, "Didn't an Azure Dragon appear before? That friend of mine knows Azure Dragon and is now with Azure Dragon." "What secret technique?" Yu hastily stopped and floated in the sky. "Sense the sun's core and obtain its recognition. Then you can go and take the sun-suppressing divine arrow." After Qin Yun finished speaking, he shook his head and said, "I also don't know how to sense the sun's core. But this was a direction. Also, in order to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow, you have to complete a mysterious mission. Let's head over first." Yu pulled Qin Yun and continued flying quickly. She said, "You have a sun spirit. You must have obtained the sun's recognition. You must have a way to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow." Yu placed all her hopes of obtaining the sun-suppressing divine arrow on Qin Yun. Qin Yun nodded and said, "I will try my best. If you can obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow, Guanghan Palace will not face any threat and Yuelon and the others will be even safer." "Yuelon? What is your relationship with Yuelon? This little girl doesn't hate you? Back then, you harmed her beautiful master to the point where her life and death is unknown." Yu said, "Yuelon is my wife. She doesn't hate me anymore. And after she reincarnated, we've known each other since we were young." Soon after, he told Yu about some of the things he and Xiao Yuelon experienced. After Yu finished listening, she lightly groaned and said, "You bastard, in this life you still have an unbreakable entanglement with a woman from your previous life. Moreover, they are both from my Guanghan Palace. What kind of relationship do you have with the Guanghan Palace? In your previous life and this life, you have such a close relationship with our Guanghan Palace. I also want to know." Qin Yun shook his head and sighed. "Forget it. As long as we can live, the truth will eventually come to light. Now focus on the sun-suppressing divine arrow. If we can obtain it, we can be at peace for a period of time. Even if immortal emperor-level people from Sacred Desolate come, we don't need to be afraid of them." Yu tightly held Qin Yun's wrist and said, "The matter of you destroying the altar is very big. Those big powers will definitely want to capture you. You must not expose your identity so casually." Although Yu is flying with Qin Yun, her speed is still very fast. Not long after, they arrived at a large flat land. Originally, there were many mountains here, but because several battles broke out, it became a flat land. In this flat land, there are many different kinds of mansions, large and small pavilions and houses. These are all immortal tools for houses. They are all powerful immortal tools that experts carry with them. They can be used to cultivate inside, and they also have very strong defensive power. Yu's house is a black semicircular building. It is several tens of meters wide. It is also a rather special building here. Qin Yun walked closer and realized that it is a very large spherical building. Half of it is buried underground. "Who are the people?" Qin Yun asked. "Just me and Rujing." Yu arrived in front of the semicircular building, opened a door and led Qin Yun in. After entering, Qin Yun saw Xian Rujing wearing white and blue tight-fitting clothes. Her hair is tied up in a ponytail. Her appearance is delicate and charming, but there is also a bit of heroic spirit. The tight-fitting clothes outlined her fiery hot body. Even though she is completely covered up, it gives people a kind of special temptation. After Qin Yun entered, he took off his mask and said with smile, "Goddess Rujing, I finally meet you. Bastard." Xian Rujing grinded her jade teeth. Her eyes are filled with warning. She is worried that Qin Yun would tell you about her forceful kiss and dragon claw hand. "I did not expect your relationship to be so good." Xian Rujing saw Yu bring Qin Yun back and laughed. "Rujing, it seems like your relationship with this bastard is also not bad?" Yu said. "Of course it is, I was forcefully kissed by him." Qin Yun said. "What nonsense are you talking about?" Xian Rujing shouted, promptly walked over and stepped on Qin Yun's foot. Qin Yun promptly dodged and said with mischievous smile, "Goddess Rujing, do you still want to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow?" Yu poked Qin Yun's waist and said with low groan, "Don't provoke Rujing, she is ice and snow goddess. If I can recover my divine power, I will definitely turn this brat into a snowman." Xian Rujing gnashed her teeth in anger. "Then I won't help you obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Goodbye." Qin Yun turned around to leave. "Little brother Xiao Yun, don't." Xian Rujing promptly walked over and pulled Qin Yun's hand. She pouted coquettishly and said, "Why do you always make me angry? Would you die if you don't mention those things? Who told you to call me bastard the moment we met? It was clearly you who forcefully kissed me and even bit me a few times." Qin Yun curled his lips and said, all right, I know I was wrong." Xian Rujing gently caressed Qin Yun's handsome face. Her beautiful eyes are slightly narrowed, they are filled with dense charm as she spoke in a delicate voice. Yu is also secretly amazed looking at this. She did not expect that the relationship between Qin Yun and this ice and snow goddess would be this good. Although there are some contradictions, it gives people a kind of intimacy. Qin Yun sat on a very soft chair in the living room and said with smile, "Goddess Rujing, can you help me find a relatively stronger god? I am very anxious to cooperate with God and obtain even more good things. I can only find Star God." Xian Rujing curled her lips and said, "Star God is a very lascivious woman, I am worried that you will be led astray by her." "It's fine." Qin Yun laughed. Yu said, "Star God? Our Guanghan Palace's new disciple Yu Shutian is the Star Fairy Princess. She even brought an altar with her. Wait until we get the sun-suppressing divine arrow." Xian Rujing also knows that Qin Yun must worship a reliable god, that way he can obtain great amount of resources. Yu took out a devil mirror, handed it over to Xian Rujing and said, "I will return this thing to you. Rujing, you must be careful, this devil mirror can lock onto your position and steal all kind of information." "I know." Xian Rujing stored the devil mirror and said again, "Immortal Mirror Emperor's chief disciple just came over and said that the devil mirrors we ordered have already been refined. Let him come over first. As long as there is no problem with the devil mirrors, it will be fine." Yu said, "But it would be best to make a deal with Immortal Mirror Emperor." Xian Rujing nodded her head and ran out. Qin Yun also put on his mask at this time. Not long after, she led a few middle-aged men and walked in. These middle-aged men are wearing white long gown, there are runes on their clothes and there is a mirror on their back. This is the uniform of Devil Mirror disciples. After they came in, they did not greet Yu. Each and every one of them stood there with arrogant expression. "The 100 demonic mirrors you ordered have already been refined. There won't be any problem, but they are very expensive. 50 million immortal jade beads for one, total is 5 billion immortal jade beads." The middle-aged man said, "Such a big deal, let Immortal Mirror Emperor come. He is nearby." Yu said in cold voice, "Why didn't he come himself?" This batch of devil mirrors was refined by us, of course we are the ones to make the deal. Sect Master also doesn't have time to come. What's more, it's only a few billion immortal jade beads, this is just a small deal. The middle-aged man proudly smiled. I, Han Yuping, am the chief disciple of Devil Mirror disciples. Although I just became an immortal king, I have refined devil mirrors for many years. Even other immortal emperors have to be polite to me when they see me. Qin Yun suddenly recalled that the information about Yuzhuaquan and others was deleted from the devil mirror. It is highly likely that Han Yuping received some benefits from Immortal Emperor Diyu. Then go back and let Immortal Mirror Emperor come over. I want to make a deal with him, Yu said with sneer. Humph, your Guang Han Palace ordered so many devil mirrors, don't tell me you don't want them? Believe it or not, I will immediately report this matter to the Devil Mirror and let Immortal Desolate know that you are all unreasonable women. Han Yuping furiously said, so many people in Immortal Desolate use normal devil mirrors, only you are so picky. Now you still think that devil mirrors are expensive, if you have the guts, don't use them. Xian Rujing burst into loud laughter and said, earlier it was Immortal Mirror Emperor who came to talk to us and asked us to use their devil mirrors. He also said that if we don't use them, many people in Immortal Desolate will suspect that there is a problem with the devil mirrors. He also promised to specially refine them for us. There is no problem with the devil mirrors, you are just too paranoid. Han Yuping spoke, took out a large pile of devil mirrors and said, these are custom-made by you. You must buy them today no matter what. Chapter 1406. Meeting Master and Disciple. Han Yuping sneered a few times, then took out the devil mirror and posted a message on it. He said, I want everyone in the Immortal Desolate to know how arrogant your Guang Han Palace is. Even though I, Han Yuping, am not an immortal emperor, the other immortal emperors all respect me. Only a bunch of unreasonable women like you would think that we have tampered with the magic mirror. How unreasonable! Yu waved her hand and released a black energy that wrapped around the devil mirror in Han Yuping's hand and simply shattered it. Han Yuping's expression changed. He immediately brought his people and rushed out, but the door is already closed. If you dare to post negative news about the Guang Han Palace on the devil mirror, I guarantee that I will chop off your dog head. Yu said coldly, hurry up and scram. Han Yuping brought his people and left the hall while suppressing a bellyful of anger. Not long after, Han Yuping returned again. Moreover, he brought a few old immortal kings, they are all devil mirror disciples. Immortal Emperor Yu, don't go too far. First, you were suspicious of our devil mirror, causing many people to suspect that there is a problem with our devil mirror. We had to pay a great price to eliminate this negative influence. Later on, we specially ordered a devil mirror for you, but you found it expensive and refused to buy it? An old man said angrily. You bunch of idiots, I already said it earlier, I want Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror to come and trade with me. I want him to sign a soul contract with me to guarantee that there is no problem with these devil mirrors. Yu said angrily, of course I can afford several billion immortal jade beads. What I want is absolute safety. Qin Yun can also see that there is a problem. Because this group of people came to trade behind the Devil Mirror Immortal Emperor's back. This means that there is indeed a problem with their Devil Mirror. What problem can there be with our Devil Mirror? Han Yuping said with sneer. This batch of Devil Mirror is made of top-quality materials, it won't be damaged that easily. This is what we specially refined for you. And the specifics are the same as the other Devil Mirrors. I don't believe your nonsense. I want to trade with Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror face to face. Yu shouted. If you can't do it, then quickly scram. Han Yuping looked at the few elders and said, Seniors, look. I am very sincere in making a deal with her, but she is not willing. Qin Yun changed his voice and made it hoarse. He said, Show me the devil mirror you refined. Hearing that Qin Yun's voice is a man's voice, Han Yuping and company are very surprised. Qin Yun's body was wrapped in a black robe and he wore a mask. It was impossible to tell whether he was a man or a woman. Han Yuping and the others knew that the people of the Moon Palace were all women, but there was a man here. Xian Rujing and Yu Yu both know that Qin Yun is from Inscription Mysterious Sect. Han Yuping took out a magic mirror and threw it to Qin Yun. After receiving it, Qin Yun used his extinction spirit eye to take a look. He discovered that there are quite a few simple and concise spatial runes that the magic mirror should not have. What shocked him is that the spatial runes inside the magic mirror are actually connected to another spatial formation base. One had to know that the central array foundation of all the magic mirrors was set up by Qin Yun in his previous life. It was later improved by Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror, and the Devil Mirror refined by Han Yuping and company. Apart from connecting to the central array foundation of Qin Yun's previous life, it is also connected to other array foundations. There is a very big problem with this Devil Mirror. How is it? Yu Yu asked. The problem is very big. Close the door and let Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror personally come. If he doesn't come, chop off their heads and hang them on the door. Qin Yun said, their cultivation is very high. Even if their heads are chopped off, they won't die in a short time. After Qin Yun finished speaking, Yu Yu immediately closed the door. You bastard, what did you say? How can there be a problem with our Devil Mirror? Han Yuping furiously said. Let Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror come or you will all die. Yu Yu said in cold voice. The hall is filled with cold killing intent. Han Yuping promptly took out a Devil Mirror and shouted, Sect Master, quickly come. Moon Palace's Immortal Emperor Yu Yu is truly going too far. She dislikes my specially refined Devil Mirror for being too expensive and wants to kill me. Yu Yu immediately released her killing intent and furiously said, If you speak nonsense again, I will kill you. Sect Master, did you hear me? Han Yuping shouted. I'll go now. Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror finished speaking and cut off the connection. Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror is nearby and not long after, he came knocking on the door. Yu Yu controlled the door and opened it. After opening the door, she saw a thin and small middle-aged man walk in. He has 2 strands of beard and his hair is parted in the middle. He is wearing a gray robe and there is a mirror on his chest and another mirror on his back. Sect Master, Immortal Emperor Yu Yu wants to kill us. We Devil Mirror disciples are respected by all the major powers, but this woman is completely unreasonable. Han Yuping finished speaking and pointed at Qin Yun and said, This guy who came out of nowhere actually said that there is a big problem with our Devil Mirror. Immortal Emperor Yu Yu, what exactly is going on? Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror asked with a smile after entering. Didn't you say that you would specially refine a batch of Devil Mirror for our Moon Palace? Moreover, you guaranteed that there would be no problem. Yu Yu said, I agreed to buy, but I will only do business with you face to face. I asked you to come over, but these guys refuse no matter what. It is very suspicious. To be honest, if not for giving you face, I would have already chopped them up. Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror said with smile, I indeed have some matters that I can't leave, so I let them come. Moreover, that batch of Devil Mirror was also refined by them. There is definitely no problem. Since that's the case, then sign a soul contract with me. Yu Yu said. Alright. Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror said with smile, then looked at Han Yuping and shouted in low voice. Quickly take out that batch of Devil Mirror. Sect Master, here. Han Yuping promptly took out a storage bag and handed it over to Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror. Wait, don't tell me you don't want to personally take a look at these Devil Mirrors? Qin Yun suddenly said. Hearing the man's voice, Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror is also very surprised. He said with smile, I don't need to look, I trust my disciple. Qin Yun changed his voice, so Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror can't hear it. Qin Yun looked at Yu Yu and said, Close the door. Yu promptly closed the door. Immortal Emperor Yu, what are you doing? Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror is somewhat worried. He is afraid of fighting with Yu. Qin Yun said, Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror, carefully look at these devil mirrors to see if there is any problem. All right. Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror can only take out a devil mirror and carefully look at it. After a while, he shook his head and said, There is no problem. These devil mirrors were invented by me. If there is a problem, how could I not see it? Qin Yun slightly frowned. He suddenly felt that his disciple is very stupid. She is about to fall into someone else's trap, and yet she still hasn't realized it. However, after thinking about it carefully, he also felt that the problem hidden in the devil mirror is very hidden. He discovered it because he is very sensitive to some of the runes inside the devil mirror. Suddenly seeing some spatial runes appear, he felt that there is a problem. If there is a problem, please point it out, brother. Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror is very polite. In Yu's territory, he must be well behaved. Qin Yun walked towards Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror, and Yu promptly followed. At this time, Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror, Han Yuping and others suddenly felt that this mysterious man is not simple. He can actually make Yu accompany him. Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror is holding a devil mirror in his hand. It was refined by Han Yuping and others. After Qin Yun walked over, he said, Turn to the back. Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror did as instructed. Then, Qin Yun took out the floating cloud divine needle and pointed it at the back of the devil mirror. Seeing the floating cloud divine needle, Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror almost lost his balance. His whole body trembled. Others may not recognize it, but he is very clear that it is Immortal King Floating Cloud's floating cloud divine needle. Not only is it a very powerful carving knife, it is also a very powerful weapon. Look at the devil mirror, don't look at me. Qin Yun said in a deep voice. Yes. Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror's forehead is immediately filled with sweat. Yu and Xian Rujing glanced at each other. They feel very doubtful. They don't know that Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror is Qin Yun's disciple. And Han Yuping and other disciples of Devil Mirror are even more unaware. After being pointed at by Qin Yun, Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror very quickly discovered a problem. There is a set of spatial runes that the Devil Mirror should not have. They are hidden very deeply and are intertwined with other spatial runes. These spatial runes should not have appeared on the Devil Mirror. It means that this set of spatial runes is connected to other spatial formation bases and can steal any information sent or received by the Devil Mirror. After discovering this point, Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror is even more terrified. If he signed a soul contract with Yu, moreover it is a death contract, he would be done for. At that time, his Devil Mirror gate will be taken over by someone else. Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror's expression gradually turned gloomy and cold. Because he knows that the disciples behind him want to usurp his position and collude with others. He admires his master even more in his heart. Even though he doesn't have the memories of his past life, he can see through the hidden problem of the Devil Mirror. A black mace suddenly appeared in Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror's hand. Seeing him take out a weapon, Yu and Xian Rujing are endlessly apprehensive. They think that Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror wants to start a war. Who would have thought that Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror would suddenly turn around and sweep his mace at Han Yuping's waist? Boom! Han Yuping's waist was immediately broken into pieces, blood and flesh splashed everywhere. He has been cut into 2 pieces. Sect Master, what are you doing? Han Yuping's upper body is wriggling as he screamed miserably. Hoo! Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror flickered back and forth. He brandished his mace and cut all the disciples behind him into 2 pieces. In just a few short moments, the furious Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror beat a few of his immortal kings into 2 pieces. The ground is filled with minced meat and blood, many legs are flying in all directions. Xian Rujing and Yu Yu are also somewhat startled looking at this scene. Master, many thanks for the pointers, otherwise Xiao Ding would have been killed by them. Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror suddenly knelt down towards Qin Yun and respectfully shouted. Han Yuping and the others are immortal kings. Although their bodies have been cut into 2 pieces, they are not dead. Seeing Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror kowtowing to a mysterious man and calling him master, they are immediately scared silly. Xian Rujing knows that Qin Yun once pretended to be Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror's distinguished disciple, but now it seems that Immortal Emperor Magic Mirror is Qin Yun's distinguished disciple. Chapter 1407. Mission. Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror thought that Qin Yun was in Luo Tian City. Even if he came over, he would go find him first. He never expected Qin Yun to be together with Yu Yu. He remembered that Yu Yu hated Immortal King Fu Yun very much. Back then, when Devil Mirror Immortal Emperor was still Immortal King Fu Yun's disciple, he knew that the reason why Yu Yu was sealed in the Nether Moon Desolate Domain was all because of Qin Yun's scheme. Yu Yu was miserably deceived back then. But now, their relationship seemed to be pretty good. This surprised Immortal Emperor Fiend Mirror, and made him secretly admire Qin Yun. Xiao Ding, get up, Qin Yun said indifferently. Those guys harbor evil intentions. Not only did they want to frame you, they also tampered with the Devil Mirror. They must have colluded with others to steal information from Guang Han Palace. The Demon Mirror Immortal Emperor picked up the bloody mace and walked towards Han Yuping. His voice was filled with anger as he roared, "You bastard, I've always treated you well and even taught you the entire refinement method of the Demon Mirror. You actually wanted to usurp my position and even colluded with other forces." "Headmaster, I'm innocent." Han Yuping was so scared that his face was distorted. He only had his upper body now, and he was wriggling on the ground. Han Yuping's group tampered with the mirror and successfully fooled the Emperor, but they didn't expect for a master to appear. They had never heard of Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror having a master. Wronged? Looks like you don't want to die a quick death, do you? Is it because I'm usually too polite that you all think I'm easy to bully? Immortal Emperor Demonic Mirror's expression was cold as he took out several spikes and said, "Today, I will show you my most ruthless side." Sect leader, Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate made us do it. When they found out that I was going to refine a batch of magic mirrors for the Guang Han Palace, they came to find me. They want to monitor the disciples of the Guang Han Palace. Han Yuping was scared out of his wits because he had never seen such a terrifying appearance from the Devil Mirror Immortal Emperor. After Yu Yu heard this, she clenched her fist and said coldly, "Those bastards from Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate," Qin Yun said, "it shouldn't be just the Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate, right? There are still immortals. I had no choice. 2 great emperors came to me and gave me great benefit. What could I do? If I don't do it, I'll die too." Han Yuping cried out, "Sect Master, don't kill me. Then why didn't you discuss it with me? You're clearly trying to kill me. If I signed a contract with Immortal Emperor Yu Yu without knowing anything, wouldn't I be dead for sure?" After Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror finished speaking, he smashed his rod towards Han Yuping's head. Yu Yu, Qin Yun and Xian Rujing are all people who have seen wind and waves. Although it is very bloody, they do not feel anything. Those who were still alive cried and begged the Emperor to let them go after seeing Han Yuping's miserable death. Demonic Mirror Immortal Emperor was not lenient at all because he was almost killed by these people. Although these disciples only had half of their bodies left, they were still beaten to death by the Devil Mirror Immortal Emperor. After Demonic Mirror Immortal Emperor got rid of these traitors, he quickly cleaned up the place. "Master, why didn't you inform me that you were here?" Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror said with face full of smile. "Many thanks to Master just now, otherwise I would have been dead for sure. Master is truly awesome. You can see that there is a problem with the Devil Mirror." Qin Yun took off his mask and sat down. Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror promptly bowed and walked over. He looked at Qin Yun and said with smile, "Master, you are still so handsome. To be honest, ever since you died, I have never seen someone as handsome as you. Luckily you were reborn, otherwise it would be a great loss to this world." "Enough, don't flatter me," Qin Yun said with smile. Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror looked at Yu and is somewhat worried. Because he kept calling Yu a busybody before. If Yu finds out, he might lose a layer of skin. "Master, did you come here to take the sun-suppressing divine arrow?" Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror said with smile. "With your ability, you will definitely be able to easily obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow." Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror very much wants the sun-suppressing divine arrow, but he knows that he won't be able to obtain it. If Qin Yun can obtain it, then as his disciple, he will be able to show off his might and might even be able to touch it. "Alright, go back and make the arrangements first. Don't let those two bastard great emperors know that I am here and don't let them know that you killed Han Yuping," Qin Yun said. "Yes, master, I will go back and make the arrangements," Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror said with smile, and then left Yu's spherical building. Yu took off her mask and sat down. She rolled her eyes at Qin Yun and said, "So that guy is your disciple? What's his name?" "Wu Xiaoding. This guy is very crafty. Taking advantage of the fact that I don't have my past life's memories, he actually pretended to be my master. Later I saw through him," Qin Yun said with smile. "Little brother Xiao Yun, you seem to be very proficient in Devil Mirror? Can you refine Devil Mirror?" Xian Rujing promptly walked to Qin Yun's side and asked with a charming smile. "Of course I can refine. Sister Yang and Yuelan's Devil Mirror were refined by me. Not only is it very safe, they also don't need to pay Immortal Jade Bead," Qin Yun said with mischievous smile, and took out a Devil Mirror. "Why didn't you say so earlier? Quickly help us refine 100. Our Guang Han Palace wants to use them," Yu said. "These Devil Mirrors are indeed very convenient, but I was worried before," Qin Yun said with smile. "Truth be told, most of the Devil Mirrors have problems. Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror can grasp many people's whereabouts and all kinds of information through the Devil Mirror. He can even control the Devil Mirror to explode." "This damned guy." Xian Rujing promptly took out her Devil Mirror and threw it away. Qin Yun raised his hand and picked up the Devil Mirror. Then he took out the floating cloud divine needle and made some simple modifications. He said with smile, "There's no problem now, you can use it however you want." "Really?" Xian Rujing is still somewhat worried and said, "Refine a new one for me." "Qin Yun, I want 100. I won't take it for free. I'll give you 5 billion Immortal Jade Beads, how about it?" Yu wanted to buy a batch before. Qin Yun still has a few that he refined himself. He took them out and handed them to Yu and said, "I still have a few more. When I see Shui Ru in the future, I'll pass the refining technique to her. You guys go refine it yourselves." "Alright." Yu is secretly happy and nodded. Xian Rujing said, "Little brother Xiao Yun, when do you plan on seeing the sun-suppressing divine arrow from close range? I saw the sun-suppressing divine arrow from close range a long time ago. I will have to start from the 9 Extinction Profound Gate." Qin Yun told her about how he once entered the 9 Extinction Profound Gate. Xian Rujing also knows that Qin Yun knows 9 Extinction Sect Master. But now that she heard the details, she is amazed. Yu did not expect that after Qin Yun's rebirth, he would actually live even better than his past life and know all kinds of awesome people. "Qin Long, who took the sun-suppressing divine arrow, is my father," Qin Yun said with smile. "And Netherworld Great Emperor is my foster father. I really didn't expect that among the people who took the sun-suppressing divine arrow, I know quite a few of them." Xian Rujing said with smile. "They all obtained the sun-suppressing divine arrow, you should also be able to obtain it. Let's take action late at night," Qin Yun said with nod. Yu went out for a while. She wants to check if there are any immortal kings from Sacred Desolate in the vicinity, so that they won't disturb Qin Yun's search for the sun-suppressing divine arrow late at night. Qin Yun also doesn't know how to sense the sun core. However, he feels that since he has the 9 sun divine spirit and nether sun inside his body, maybe he will have a way to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Late at night, Qin Yun, Yu and Xian Rujing are all wearing black robes and white masks. In front of them are the 3 heaven-piercing pillar-like sun-suppressing divine arrow. After Qin Yun approached, the 9 sun divine spirit on his wrist suddenly trembled and emerged from his flesh and blood. The 9 sun divine spirit can fuse with Qin Yun's flesh and blood. Normally, it can only appear under Qin Yun's control. But now, it has appeared on its own. Qin Yun promptly concentrated his mind and followed the 9 sun divine spirit to sense something. After approaching the sun-suppressing divine arrow, he suddenly heard a voice resounding in his mind. It is an illusory and indistinct voice, overlapping and overlapping. He can tell that it is a man's voice. "Do you want to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow?" that illusory and indistinct voice said. "Yes," Qin Yun promptly responded. "If you obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow, you will shoulder the divine arrow's mission. If you can't accomplish it, you will die in the end," that voice said again. "What mission?" Qin Yun asked. "If you want me to go around killing people, arson and willfully slaughter the innocent, I can't do it. Of course it's not that kind of thing, it's to protect the 9 sun heart," that voice said. "Alright, I am willing to do it." Qin Yun immediately agreed. Because his father, foster father and Siekiru have already done it, he feels that there shouldn't be any problem. "Then I am willing to entrust 1 sun-suppressing divine arrow to you and let you complete the mission of protecting the 9 sun heart," that mysterious voice very calmly said. "I wish you success in everything. Wait a minute, can I also let my 2 friends obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow? My 2 friends have pretty good potential," Qin Yun promptly said. "Hold their hands, let me see their potential," that mysterious voice said. Qin Yun suddenly pulled Xian Rujing and Yu's hands. Moreover, he held them very tightly and sent his thoughts into their bodies. Just as they were about to ask Qin Yun what's wrong, that mysterious voice echoed in their minds. "It's related to the mission. This is an opportunity to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow," they immediately agreed. "Alright, their potential is indeed astonishing. They can communicate with me through you, it is also their opportunity," that mysterious voice recalled in Qin Yun's mind. "You approach the sun-suppressing divine arrow separately, as long as you touch it, it will become small and then enter your body. Senior, there are many experts in the vicinity. I am worried that after obtaining the sun-suppressing divine arrow, I will be killed by them," Qin Yun said again. "After you obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow, you will be able to obtain a lot of power for a short period of time. You can use this power to leave this place." That mysterious voice finished speaking and then disappeared. Now Xian Rujing and Yu are very excited. They did not expect to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow so easily. Chapter 1408. The Might of a Divine Arrow. Yu first escorted Qin Yun to the nearest sun-suppressing divine arrow. Then she and Xian Rujing went to the other 2 sun-suppressing divine arrows. Late at night, although there were people near the sun-suppressing divine arrow, there were not many of them. Qin Yun arrived beside a sun-suppressing divine arrow and concealed himself, waiting for Xian Rujing and Yu. After waiting for a while, they were all near the 2 sun-suppressing divine arrows. Previously, Yu decided that she would take 1 sun-suppressing divine arrow first to attract the attention of others. Then they took away the sun-suppressing divine arrow and quickly left this place. The people near the sun-suppressing divine arrow did not understand how a weak person could successfully escape after taking the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Qin Yun had always been puzzled. Now, he finally knew that when he obtained the sun-suppressing divine arrow, his strength would increase significantly. 9 Extinction Sect Master Wei Zhongjing was an immortal king. After obtaining the sun-suppressing divine arrow, he was able to escape unscathed from 2 great thearchs and a group of immortal emperors. When the Netherworld Great Emperor took the sun-suppressing divine arrow, no one dared to stop him. Although Qin Long and Xieqiru were being chased, they were able to escape smoothly. Especially Xieqiru, she can directly teleport the inscription beast away. Although he knew that obtaining the sun-suppressing divine arrow would also give him a powerful power to escape, Qin Yun could not help but feel nervous. After all, there were many immortal emperors and immortal kings near the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Xian Rujing and Yu Yu are very excited, especially Yu Yu. She is extremely excited. I am preparing to take away the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Yu Yu used the devil mirror to inform Qin Yun and Xian Rujing, telling them to prepare. Qin Yun and Xian Rujing are ready. They all looked at the sun-suppressing divine arrow where Yu Yu is. Although the distance is a little far, because the sun-suppressing divine arrow is very tall and big, even in the middle of the night, they can see a shadow standing there. Suddenly, the sun-suppressing divine arrow at Yu Yu's location emitted a burst of intense flame light. It is as if the sun is releasing light. The gigantic sun-suppressing divine arrow immediately illuminated the surroundings, causing a huge commotion. The people near the sun-suppressing divine arrow immediately became excited and hurriedly rushed over. It was especially so for those immortal emperors and immortal kings. They were the fastest and rushed over immediately. At the same time, the sun-suppressing divine arrow was also rapidly shrinking. The sun-suppressing divine arrow has been obtained by me, Yu Yu. Whoever wants to snatch it, come over immediately. Yu Yu is holding an arrow flickering with golden light in her hand. Her lily-white hands are trembling. It is unknown if she is too excited or the energy inside the arrow is very strong. The sun-suppressing divine arrow is a divine object of the 9 Desolate. Yu Yu, a woman, hand over this divine object. You don't deserve the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Suddenly, a voice floated over. Cut the crap. If any of you want to snatch it, hurry up and come over. Yu Yu laughed wildly and said, Women are not worthy to possess sun-suppressing divine arrow? I think it's you idiots who don't have the right to get it, so you're jealous of me. Many of the people who obtained the sun-suppressing divine arrow previously had very low cultivation. For example, Xieqiru, Qin Long and the Long family's young Xian immortal were able to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow. This also caused many immortal emperors and immortal kings to doubt their lives. Their cultivation levels were clearly very high, but they couldn't obtain it. Yu Yu, the sun-suppressing divine arrow is mine. A coarse voice resounded and an incomparably terrifying pressure suddenly enveloped them. Devil Immortal Heavenly Gates left Protector? Why didn't your Devil Immortal Great Emperor come? Yu Yu said with sneer, He's afraid of death. I'm enough to destroy you. When Devil Immortal Heavenly Gates left Protector charged at Yu Yu, he brought along a large amount of red energy mist, causing the night sky to look like it is shrouded in a scarlet blood mist. Destroy me? You overestimate yourself. Yu Yu also rushed out, tightly gripped the sun-suppressing divine arrow, and stabbed at Devil Immortal Heavenly Gates left Protector. Boom! At the same time the sun-suppressing divine arrow stabbed out, an earth-shaking explosion occurred. Incomparably majestic sun power surged out from the sun-suppressing divine arrow and transformed into an arrow image that pierced towards Devil Immortal Heavenly Gates left Protector. Many people watched this astonishing scene attentively. After Devil Immortal Heavenly Gates left Protector was stabbed, his body instantly exploded. This immediately caused many restless immortal emperors to be endlessly shocked. Devil Immortal Heavenly Gates left Protector is a famous and powerful immortal emperor. He was actually instantly killed by Yu Yu. Previously, some people guessed that after obtaining the sun-suppressing divine arrow, one's power would increase by several times. Now it seems that it is indeed so. Yu Yu is an immortal emperor. With the sun-suppressing divine arrow in her hand, she is invincible. Previously, Nine Extinction Sect Master was merely an immortal king. Those immortal emperors could not do anything to him, let alone Yu Yu. At the same time, the other two sun-suppressing divine arrows suddenly flickered with intense sunlight. The world was once again illuminated by the light released by the enormous sun-suppressing divine arrow. At this moment, everyone present was shocked. Another two sun-suppressing divine arrows were taken away. A large group of experts watched as the two sun-suppressing divine arrows became smaller and fell into the hands of two masked people. The most shocking thing is that the two masked people wearing black robes are dressed the same as Yu Yu. Yu Yu is also wearing the same mask and black robes. Could it be that they are people from Guanghan Palace? Motherfucker, these women from Guanghan Palace actually took away 3 sun-suppressing divine arrows. Won't they be invincible in the future? Devil Immortal Great Emperor and Immortal Desolate Great Emperor, quickly attack. If Guanghan Palace obtains 3 sun-suppressing divine arrows, they will definitely be suppressed by those women in the future. What's going on? Why did Guanghan Palace suddenly take away 3 sun-suppressing divine arrows? Did they master the secret technique? Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror is also watching. He is extremely alarmed. He knew that Qin Yun would definitely be able to take away the sun-suppressing divine arrows, but he did not expect that he would be able to obtain 3 in one go. Yu Yu has been here for so long, but she has not been able to obtain any sun-suppressing divine arrows. Yet Qin Yun obtained them as soon as he arrived. Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror thought about it and realized that Qin Yun helped them. As expected of Master. Truly awesome. No wonder Yu Yu doesn't hate him, this is skill. Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror sighed with emotion in his heart. In just an instant, all kinds of news exploded on Devil Mirror, saying that Guanghan Palace obtained 3 sun-suppressing divine arrows. Now the happiest people are the Guanghan Palace's disciples. Yang Shiyu knows that Qin Yun went to find Yu Yu. After seeing the news, she guessed that it was Qin Yun who helped them. After Qin Yun and Xian Rujing obtained the sun-suppressing divine arrows, their bodies became wrapped in sunlight and they felt that they have grasped a very formidable power. Very formidable defense, even an immortal emperor's attack would find it difficult to break. Qin Yun feels that this is inconceivable. This kind of power makes him feel as if he is invincible. Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate's left law protector was instantly killed by Yu Yu. This matter caused many immortal emperors to feel endless fear. Even the 2 hidden great emperors don't dare to come out now. 3 people from Guanghan Palace obtained the sun-suppressing divine arrows, their power sharply increased by several times. If they are all immortal emperors and immortal kings, once they join hands, even those 2 great emperors would die. Qin Yun and Xian Rujing directly flew away, their speed is very fast. Yu Yu did not leave, she wants to stay here to intimidate the other immortal emperors and immortal kings. Suddenly, an immortal emperor rushed towards Qin Yun. After Yu Yu sensed it, she teleported in a blink and shot an arrow. With a loud explosion, that immortal emperor's body turned into a field of sparks that scattered in all directions, like fireworks exploding. Another immortal emperor was instantly killed by Yu Yu. That is, Yu family's immortal emperor Yu. The people present burst into an uproar again. Yu family's immortal emperor Yu is very strong. He is also inscription mysterious sect. His equipment is very strong, yet he was instantly killed. Qin Yun and Xian Rujing flew in 2 different directions, they are not together. Their speed is very fast, they also know that the temporary power won't last for long. Their cultivation is also not high, They don't dare to stay in that area for too long, they want to leave as soon as possible. Daybreak, Qin Yun arrived at a mountain range covered with ice and snow. Although the peak of this mountain is covered with ice and snow, under the sunlight, it is suffused with purple color. This is the Purple Ice Mountain Range. If Qin Yun normally went to the Purple Ice Mountain Range, it would take him 2 to 3 days to reach it. But now, in just one night, he arrived at the Purple Ice Mountain Range. The reason why he wants to go to the Purple Ice Mountain Range is because it is a Xian immortal holy land. The strongest can only be a 9th layer Xian immortal. This way, he won't be chased by even stronger people. Xian Rujing is also in another direction of the Purple Ice Mountain Range. She is heading to meet up with Qin Yun. Qin Yun found a place outside the Purple Ice Mountain Range and released the floating cloud pagoda. Now he has time to reply to other people's messages. Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror sent him a message. Congratulations, Master, for obtaining the sun-suppressing divine arrow. If there is an opportunity, let disciple touch it, hee. After that, the little black donkey sent him a message, saying that all the divine sun-suppressing arrows had been taken. It expressed sadness and jealousy. Finally, it was Yang Shuriyue. She had urgent matters to discuss with him. Big Sister Yang. Qin Yun contacted Yang Shuriyue and said with a smile, I obtained the sun-suppressing divine arrow. When you told me, I knew you had a way. Even you has no choice but to admire you. Yang Shuriyue said with a smile. You now calls me Big Sister. Did you tell her to shout that? Yes. Then, he told Yang Shuriyue about how he carved the Nether Moon Totem for Yu, causing Yang Shuriyue to chuckle. After that, he talked about the sun-suppressing divine arrow's mission to protect the heart of the 9 suns. When Yang Shuriyue heard this, she said worriedly, Xiao Yun, you must be careful. Got it. I am also worried that the Guang Han Palace will be attacked. Qin Yun said. Don't worry, the Guang Han Palace still has Sister Bingxing, a very strong immortal emperor. Furthermore, our Guang Han Palace also has the protection of the Moon God Mountain. It won't be so easy to break through like before. Yang Shuriyue said. Now that everyone outside thinks that our Guang Han Palace has obtained 3 sun-suppressing divine arrows, they won't dare to act recklessly. Yu used the sun-suppressing divine arrow to instantly kill 2 immortal emperors. This is enough to intimidate the 2 great emperors. The Guang Han Palace is now temporarily safe. All right, I'll go study the sun-suppressing divine arrow first. Qin Yun nodded. He put away the devil mirror and took out the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Mission to protect the 9 suns' heart? How do I accomplish this? Qin Yun looked at the beautiful sun-suppressing divine arrow. It is golden and dazzling and can change size at will. The sun-suppressing divine arrow suddenly floated up, rotated for a moment and pointed in a certain direction. Chapter 1409. White Fox Qin Yun stored the sun-suppressing divine arrow and sat inside the floating cloud pagoda to wait for Xian Rujing. The power released by the sun-suppressing divine arrow has already disappeared. It will take some time for Xian Rujing to arrive. Yu is also on the way. When she arrives, Qin Yun will have to leave the Purple Ice Mountain Range. Because Yu is an immortal emperor, she cannot enter this Xian immortal holy land. Qin Yun took out the magic mirror and contacted the little black donkey. Little Black, where did you and Azure Dragon go? Asked Qin Yun. I can't tell you, it's a secret. The little black donkey chuckled. Little mortal, don't be envious of me. I'm living a carefree life now. And there's a lot of delicious food. Qin Yun curled his lips and said, Don't you like eating dragon meat? Why are you on such good terms with Azure Dragon? The black donkey said proudly, We've always been good brothers. Back then, it was the Azure Dragon who brought me everywhere to kill dragons. That was how I fell in love with eating dragon meat. Little mortal, you can't be envious of such a life. By the way, Will the mission that Azure Dragon is going to complete after obtaining the sun-suppressing divine arrow be dangerous? Qin Yun asked. I don't know about that. In any case, I have the divine sun-suppressing arrow. There's nothing to be afraid of. The black donkey chuckled. You don't have to worry about me. You should worry more about yourself. Last time, there were a few powerful immortal kings who surrounded and attacked you. They were all from the sacred wasteland. The Daoyang divine sect has already sent people over. Qin Yun said, Those guys came to find me again. The little black donkey exclaimed, Really? Are they still outside your broken stone building? He died a long time ago. Qin Yun chuckled and said, I found a very strong backer, an immortal emperor. Was it that coward immortal emperor demonic mirror? I don't think this guy would dare to kill those guys, would he? The black donkey was a little surprised. Of course not. Qin Yun did not tell the little black donkey that he had obtained the sun-suppressing divine arrow, lest it spread the news out of jealousy. I don't think it's him either. This fellow is very cowardly. The black donkey laughed. Little mortal, let's meet again if fate wills it. I'm going to have fun with Brother Azure Dragon. Don't be jealous. Qin Yun curled his lips and disconnected. Ling Yuner said, Azure Dragon's cultivation should not be very high. Otherwise, he would have been able to kill those celestial kings back then, and not just beat them back. Qin Yun felt the same way. Back then, he believed that Azure Dragon's cultivation level was very high. Later, when he saw Yu obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow and easily kill an immortal emperor, he roughly knew that the Azure Dragon was not very strong. What surprised him is that a divine beast like the Azure Dragon actually ended up in the Immortal Desolate. Just as Qin Yun was about to take out the sun-suppressing divine arrow to study, he suddenly heard a loud shout coming from outside. Save me, save me! Good Samaritan, please save me! A woman's cries came from outside. Qin Yun hurriedly opened the door and saw a skinny girl with tattered clothes and bloodstains all over her body. She was running on the icy ground. Her bare feet were covered in blood. Behind him, a large group of people quickly caught up. Qin Yun quickly pulled the woman in and closed the door. Rumble! Just as Qin Yun closed the door, a large group of people crazily attacked. Who are they? Why did they beat you up like this? Qin Yun looked at the woman whose face is filled with whip scars and asked in a low voice. I was captured by them. I quietly escaped and they chased me all the way here. The woman curled up in a corner, her face is filled with tears. Qin Yun took out some medicine and a set of clothes and draped them over her body. This woman is also a Xian immortal. Thank you. The woman looked at Qin Yun and said softly, You are truly a kind-hearted person. Who are those people outside? I saved you. You should at least let me know who the enemies I'm about to face are. Qin Yun asked. I don't know who they are, they just want to capture me. The woman used the medicine and applied it to the wounds on her body, allowing them to quickly heal. Qin Yun can see that this woman is very vigilant against him. Ling Yuner said, This woman is not human. She should be a beast. Qin Yun frowned and said to the woman, Are you a beast? The woman immediately cried out in fear. She looked at Qin Yun with a terrified expression and shouted, Don't come over. Don't worry, even if you are a beast, as long as you don't provoke me, I won't deal with you. Qin Yun shook his head and smiled. Don't be afraid. When the woman saw the amiable look in Qin Yun's eyes, she gradually let down her guard. I'm a fox. Because I have a special ability that allows me to find divine fruits, I was captured. That scoundrel often beat me and forced me to find divine fruit. It wasn't easy for me to escape. As the woman spoke, she shed sad tears and sobbed. I've been beaten many, many times. Even though I'm a Xian immortal beast, I've never killed anyone. I've always eaten fruits to cultivate. Why did they beat me? Sigh. Qin Yun sighed and asked, What is your name? My friends call me by Xiaohu. You saved me, I will definitely repay you in the future. Bai Xiaohu's eyes are clear. She looked at Qin Yun with gratitude. No need to repay, saving you was just a slight effort. Qin Yun looked at her face and said, Your self-healing speed is very fast, will you be fine very soon? And, thank you. Good person, what is your name? Bai Xiaohu asked. Qin Yun. Qin Yun finished speaking and arrived at the window to look at the people outside. He feels that if Xian Rujing comes, she might start fighting with those people. Bai Xiaohu lightly bit her lower lip and looked all around. She saw that those people are crazily attacking, but they are unable to break through the pagoda. Young Master Qin, I am sorry, I implicated you. Bai Xiaohu said with some guilt. I sense that there are people here, so I wanted to try my luck and ask for help. Your cultivation is not high, you will be trapped here for a very long time. Qin Yun said with smile. It's fine, my friends will arrive very soon. He finished speaking and took out the devil mirror to contact Xian Rujing. Xian Rujing has obtained the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Even though the temporary power she obtained has dissipated, she can still rely on the sun-suppressing divine arrow to become very strong. The people outside are all Xian immortals, but they are not very strong 9th layer upper immortals. It seems like they are just Xian immortals. If Qin Yun wants to go out, he can kill his way out with the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Xiaohu, who among the people outside beat you? Qin Yun asked. Bai Xiaohu slowly stood up and walked over to the window to look at the people outside. She said in a low voice, It's that man in lavender clothes. He was the one who captured me. After I ran away, he brought a large group of people to chase after me. He even said that whoever caught me could sleep with me. Bai Xiaohu's face is filled with blood stains, she is filled with doubt. She mumbled in low voice, Really, what is so good about sleeping with me? Can't I sleep by myself? Qin Yun can see that this is a very pure little fox. They must be people from Purple Ice Sacred City. I will go out and teach them a lesson. Qin Yun took out the sun-suppressing divine arrow and said, Young Master Qin, don't take risks, there are many of them. Bai Xiaohu promptly pulled Qin Yun. Qin Yun said with smile, I am not afraid of them. After speaking, Qin Yun opened the door and the group of people outside promptly retreated. The sun-suppressing divine arrow in Qin Yun's hand is more than 2 meters long, it looks like a golden spear. He is holding it in his hand and it is emitting a raging flame. Hurry up and release my fox. I caught it. A youth wearing light purple clothes shouted at Qin Yun. He doesn't dare to attack now. There are more than 100 people in this group, and there are many 9th stage exalted immortals. They saw that the floating cloud pagoda's defense is very strong, and they know that the people inside the pagoda are not weak. That little fox ran away, it is no longer yours, now it is mine. Also, you destroyed my pagoda, I want you to compensate me. Qin Yun said. What did you say? Your broken pagoda was originally like this, it was like this even before we started fighting. It seems like not only you don't want to return the fox to me, you also want to extort me. Do you know who I am? I am from Purple Ice Sacred City. I came from Sacred Desolate and cultivated Sacred Spirit Sacred Body. Oh, Qin Yun said indifferently. I heard that many people who cultivated Sacred Spirit Sacred Body died in Great Desert Sacred City. Many of them died in Great Desert Sacred City. They are all trash from Great Desert Sacred City. I, Fan Kylie, am a Xian immortal, not someone those weak chickens can compare to. The youth proudly said. Qin Yun's sun-suppressing divine arrow suddenly stabbed forward. His speed is very fast and his attack is also very unexpected. Fan Kylie is a 2nd stage Xian immortal. He is indeed worthy of being from Sacred Desolate. He sensed Qin Yun's sudden attack and promptly dodged. But he was still a bit too slow. Although Fan Kylie dodged sideways, his shoulder was still pierced by the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Fan Kylie has pretty good equipment, but he is still like a piece of wood. He was pierced by the arrow. You attacked my pagoda just now and you attacked it so viciously. I won't let you off, Qin Yun said with sneer. When Fan Kylie saw how powerful Qin Yun is, he immediately panicked and shouted, "They are all attacking!" At this moment, he did not dare to move because he knew that Qin Yun could pierce his head at any time. Qin Yun coldly swept his gaze across the 100+ people and said slowly, "Those who attacked this pagoda just now, cut off one of your arms. If you want me to make a move, I will directly take your lives. We are all people who joined Purple Ice Sacred City. Right now, you are in the Purple Ice Mountain Range, which means you are in the territory of Purple Ice Sacred City. If you have the guts, wait for our Purple Ice Sacred City's reinforcements to arrive. At that time, you will have a good time," a middle-aged man from Purple Ice Sacred City shouted. When they saw that Fan Kylie is still being pierced by Qin Yun, they did not dare to step forward. Qin Yun withdrew the sun-suppressing divine arrow, and Fan Kylie cried out in pain again. "All right, I will wait for your Purple Ice Sacred City's reinforcements to arrive. If they attack me at that time, I will let them have a taste of my power," Qin Yun said coldly. "Also, if any of you dares to run, I guarantee that I will blow your head off." As he spoke, he used Piercing Mountain and Splitting Earth Finger and attacked a several thousand feet tall iceberg in the distance. Boom! Chapter 14:10. The person who destroyed the altar by Xiaohu, who is inside the floating cloud pagoda, is also scared out of her wits. She never thought that the power of humans could be so terrifying. The most terrified one is still Fan Kylie. He came from the sacred desolate land and knew that the icebergs in the Purple Ice Mountain Range are formed from the power of the Sun Divine Stone and are extremely sturdy. Even if there is a fierce battle nearby, it might not be able to collapse the iceberg. However, Qin Yun's finger from afar was able to destroy a huge iceberg. That kind of power is much stronger than Fan Kylie's. The others are so scared that they don't dare to move. They are worried that Qin Yun's finger will explode their heads. Suddenly, someone asked in a trembling voice, "Big Brother Fan, are the reinforcements from the Purple Ice Sacred City reliable?" "Of course they are. Even if they can't beat this guy, they won't suffer a loss," Fan Kylie said in a low voice. "Don't be afraid. No matter what, our Purple Ice Sacred City is the overlord of this place. We will definitely be able to suppress him." A purple figure suddenly flew over. Fan Kylie shouted in pleasant surprise, "Are you Uncle Hua Zhongxiang? I am Fan Kylie." Hua Zhongxiang is a middle-aged man wearing purple armor. He has a fiendish square face, thick eyebrows and big eyes. After he arrived, he looked at Qin Yun with a fierce expression. "I received a call for help, so I hurried over. What happened?" Hua Zhongxiang looked at Qin Yun and saw the flaming rod in Qin Yun's hand. His eyes immediately turned hot. He knew that it was a very powerful weapon. "We caught a little fox earlier. That little fox is very powerful. It can sense the divine fruit from afar. We relied on that little fox to find many divine trees, but we couldn't get any divine fruit." Fan Kylie paused for a moment and said with a mischievous smile, "Uncle Hua, after that little fox turned into a human, she looked pretty good and she didn't lose her virginity. If you can kill this guy in front of you and get the little fox out of that pagoda, the little fox will be yours." An evil light flashed in Hua Zhongxiang's eyes as he laughed lewdly. "Did you say that? At that time, the little fox demon will be mine. Ha ha!" As he spoke, he withdrew a large sword and shouted loudly to Qin Yun. "I'm Violet Ice City's Hua Zhongxiang, and I'm at the 3rd level of the mysterious immortal realm. You injured the people of my Purple Ice Sacred City, and even stole the fox demon that we caught. Quickly hand it over with both hands and kneel down to apologize to us. I will spare your life." Seeing that Hua Zhongxiang was full of confidence and gave off a terrifying aura as he spoke, Everyone let out a sigh of relief, because they did not have to cut off an arm. Uncle Hua is really powerful. He scared that guy so much that he didn't dare to move. That's right, that guy only knows how to sneak attack and injure Big Brother Fan. I'm just afraid that he's hiding in that broken stone building. The defense of that broken stone building isn't weak. Many people were whispering to each other. Hua Zhongxiang shouted at Qin Yun again. Did you hear what I just said? Hurry up and do as I say, or I'll make you wish you were dead. Just as he finished speaking, he discovered that Qin Yun's body suddenly became blurry and then disappeared. It was the afterimage left behind by Qin Yun. Hua Zhongxiang immediately knew that Qin Yun had already left his original place. Because his speed was too fast, coupled with his superb movement technique, he left behind a shadow there. Xiao! A sharp whistling sound of the wind suddenly came. Everyone saw a flame penetrate Hua Zhongxiang's body. Hua Zhongxiang didn't even have time to move and his chest was penetrated by a bowl-sized hole. More than 100 people suddenly sucked in a breath of cold air, their bodies trembled, and they did not dare to speak. Hua Zhongxiang's body looked like a strong purple armor, but his body was still penetrated. Everyone just saw a flame shot out and did not see Qin Yun's body. At this time, Qin Yun returned to his previous position, standing in front of the floating cloud pagoda's door. Hua Zhongxiang was terrified to the extreme. If he had been stabbed in the head just now, he would have died without a doubt. The sun-suppressing divine arrow is a very strong divine tool. Qin Yun also felt that kind of strong penetrating power just now. Uncle Hua, are you okay? Fan Kaili shouted in shock. No. I'm not dead. Hua Zhongxiang was so scared that he broke out in cold sweat. The others can leave after cutting off one of their arms. The people of Purple Ice Sacred City want to cut off their legs. Qin Yun said again. Fan Kaili can't leave. No one else was willing. Cutting off an arm would require a lot of energy to grow out. After Hua Zhongxiang recovered from his shock, he said angrily, Don't be arrogant. I don't think you dare to kill us because you are afraid of our Purple Ice Sacred City's revenge. If you have the guts, come and kill me. Just as he finished speaking, Qin Yun suddenly threw the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Boom! The sun-suppressing divine arrow flew out and penetrated Hua Zhongxiang's head, producing a burst of explosion. Hua Zhongxiang's upper body exploded into sparks. Qin Yun waved his hand and the sun-suppressing divine arrow returned to his hand. Fan Kaili and the other core disciples of Purple Ice Sacred City looked at their trembling legs and felt a chill run down their spines. Suddenly, Fan Kaili's magic mirror vibrated. He quickly took it out and saw the name on the magic mirror. He quickly shouted, Young Master Bai, quickly come over. Uncle Hua has been killed. We're going over right now. A man's voice came from the magic mirror. It was filled with surprise and anger. Not long after, a handsome young man dressed in white appeared in the distance. He held a golden sword in his hand. After he arrived, he saw the lower half of Hua Zhongxiang's body on the ground. It's him. The weapon in that guy's hand is very strong. It should be a king-grade immortal tool. Young Master Bai, you must be careful. Fan Kaili felt as if a heavy burden had been lifted from his shoulders as he pointed at Qin Yun and shouted. When everyone saw young Master Bai arrive, they all heaved a long sigh of relief. Because they all knew that the golden sword in young Master Bai's hand was a holy sword. You actually dare to kill someone from my Purple Ice Sacred City. Are you courting death? Young Master Bai spoke as he charged towards Qin Yun and stabbed with his sword. Qin Yun promptly brandished the sun-suppressing divine arrow in his hand to block. It struck the golden sword and produced a loud bang sound. Young Master Bai was at the 3rd level of the mysterious immortal realm. He felt that with a holy tool in his hand, he could even kill a 5th-level mysterious immortal. But just now, the holy sword was hit and it seemed like it was about to be broken. Young Master Bai thrusted his sword but it was blocked by Qin Yun. He was so scared that he quickly retreated. The hand that was holding the sword slightly trembled. This is my Purple Ice Sacred City's territory. You killed my Purple Ice Sacred City's people here, you can't escape. Young Master Bai's voice was filled with fear as he shouted. Fifth brother, what happened? On the snowy ground, a woman wearing a purple dress suddenly appeared. She treaded on the snow and looked very beautiful. The person who arrived is Bai Shuangyan. Shuangyan, quickly join hands with me and kill that person. Young Master Bai shouted. Bai Shuangyan saw that Qin Yun looked somewhat familiar from afar. When she approached, she was immediately startled. Qin Yun actually came to Purple Ice Sacred City, and even had a conflict with her fifth brother. Young Master Qin, why are you here? What exactly happened? Bai Shuangyan is also a Xian immortal. She saw that Qin Yun's body is releasing Xian immortal energy, and did not feel surprised. You ask them. Qin Yun pointed at them and said coldly. Shuangyan, you know him? Young Master Bai said very angrily. He is the guy who killed Hua Zhongxiang. Bai Shuangyan bit her lips and said in low voice. Fifth brother, he is Qin Yun. Qin Yun. Hearing these two words, young Master Bai's expression immediately changed. He was originally very angry, but now his hands cannot help but tremble. As for the others, when they heard these two words, they became even more scared and their faces turned deathly pale. They almost couldn't stand steadily. The person who destroyed Great Desert Sacred City's sun altar is Qin Yun. Although these two words cannot be spread on the Devil Mirror, all the major powers already know about this matter. Not only Qin Yun destroyed the sun altar, he also has a very strong sun fairy and a fox inscription beast. The most dreadful thing is that Qin Yun's hammer destroyed many sacred tools and even smashed Xiao Tianshu to death. Gotcha! Cracks suddenly appeared on the sacred sword in young Master Bai's hand. It actually shattered. Fifth brother, what is going on? Bai Shuangyan's face was serious as she asked. Young Master Bai looked at Fan Kaili and shouted, What's going on? Fan Kaili was scared out of his wit. He never imagined that the person who saved the little fox was actually the amazing person who destroyed the sun altar of the Great Desert Holy City. His whole body trembled as he told Bai Shuangyan everything that had happened. Young Master Qin, this matter was our fault first. I apologize to you on their behalf. After Bai Shuangyan finished listening, she coldly looked at Fan Kaili and the others, then walked towards Qin Yun and softly apologized. Make them break their own legs and scram. Qin Yun said expressionlessly, Bai Shuangyan, I didn't kill them. I'm giving you face, right? Bai Shuangyan gritted her teeth and said, Breaking their legs is not good for you. We might as well compensate you with something. What do you have? Qin Yun sneered. 5 inner core fragments. Bai Shuangyan said, Although I don't have it in my hands, I can ask the City Lord. He will definitely give it. Also, there are 3 divine fruits. Qin Yun said, Good. Let your City Lord deliver it? Yes, I will use my sacred tools as collateral. Bai Shuangyan said, took out her 2 sacred swords and handed them to Qin Yun. Qin Yun took them and said, If your City Lord doesn't come, these 2 sacred swords can be exchanged for a lot of good things. He will definitely come. Bai Shuangyan said, then looked at young Master Bai and the others and lightly shouted, Still not leaving. Wait, others can leave, but not Fan Kaili. Qin Yun said and used Piercing Mountain and Splitting Earth Finger on Fan Kaili. Boom. Fan Kaili was terrified after being hit. His whole body immediately exploded. Bai Xiaohu was beaten so miserably because of Fan Kaili, Qin Yun would never let him go. Young Master Bai and Bai Shuangyan were scared to the point that their hearts jumped. Others also did not dare to breathe. You can go. Qin Yun finished speaking, took the 2 sacred swords, returned to the floating cloud pagoda and closed the door. Bai Shuangyan sighed, took out the magic mirror and contacted the Purple Ice City Lord, then quickly returned to Purple Ice Sacred City. Chapter 14:11. Changes in Purple Ice City. Shuangyan, do we need to be afraid of this bastard Qin Yun? This guy is just a dying man. He has been targeted by the Dao Yang divine sect. He definitely won't live long. Young Master Bai said unhappily, a ruthless look appeared in his eyes. Let's go back and let father come and kill him with his own hands. Your father is the city master of Purple Ice Sacred City. He knows better than me how terrifying Qin Yun is. He was the one who warned us not to form enmity with Qin Yun. Bai Shuangyan snorted and said, Don't tell me this is not your fault? Fan Kaili caught a little fox demon and actually hid it himself. He even abused the little fox demon in all kinds of ways. He deserves to die. Young Master Bai did not speak. He indeed did not understand the ins and outs of the matter, and was in a hurry to act. Bai Shuangyan said again, Fan Kaili secretly hid such a good Xian immortal beast and even abused it. This is not the style of our Purple Ice Sacred City. Your father should have told you that if you want to subdue beasts, it is best to use soft methods. Look at this, in order to capture his own little fox demon, Fan Kaili has mobilized the people recruited by our Purple Ice Sacred City. It's one thing for him to die, but Hua Zhongxiang has also died, and your holy sword has been destroyed. And now, in order to appease Qin Yun's anger, we have to compensate him. And all of this was caused by Fan Kaili to take back his little fox demon. After young Master Bai heard this, he gritted his teeth and said, This Fan Kaili is truly a bastard. But Qin Yun also deserves to die. He is just a Xian immortal of immortal desolate. We sacred desolate people should not be afraid of him. Fifth brother, your father should have told you not to be rash, to think carefully, to distinguish the pros and cons, to avoid suffering a great loss. Bai Shuangyan said. But you turned a deaf ear. Bai Shuangyan said. And this guy Qin Yun still wants to compensate us for the core fragments and divine fruits. Why is he doing this? Young Master Bai is very unsatisfied, but my holy sword was destroyed. Young Master Bai was very unconvinced. He even killed 2 of our Xian immortals. If this matter gets out, others will definitely laugh at our Purple Ice Sacred City. Bai Shuangyan sneered and said, Fine, let your father bring people to capture Qin Yun. If you are afraid of being laughed at by others and want to deal with Qin Yun, then you should be prepared for his revenge. This matter was originally our Purple Ice Sacred City's fault. It was our people who attacked his stone building and provoked him first. It's already not bad that I can bring this group of people back. Young Master Bai snorted angrily. If I were father, I would bring the strongest people in Purple Ice Sacred City to kill them. Destroy that lousy stone building and capture Qin Yun alive to exchange for divine runes from the Dao Yang Divine Gate. Bai Shuangyan silently shook her head and continued to rush back to the city. In a hall in Purple Ice Sacred City, a middle-aged man wearing a purple robe sat in the seat of honor. As he listened to Bai Shuangyan's story, his face gradually became gloomy. Young Master Bai wanted to say something, but when he saw the anger on his father's face, he swallowed his words. After Bai Shuangyan finished speaking, the Purple Ice City Lord suddenly disappeared from the throne and appeared in front of young Master Bai in the blink of an eye. The Purple Ice City Lord slapped his son, sending him flying into a bead. Father, you! Young Master Bai's mouth is full of blood, fear and anger. You almost caused me to die. Without my permission, you are not allowed to leave this villa. Purple Ice City Lord slightly gasped for breath and said coldly, Why are we afraid of that bastard? He is just a person who is about to die. If the Dao Yang Divine Gate targets him, he will undoubtedly die. No matter how powerful he is, can he fight against a super sect that stands tall in the Divine Desolate? Young Master Bai shouted, Why don't we take this opportunity to capture him and claim credit from the Dao Yang Divine Gate? Purple Ice Sacred City Lord said angrily. What do you know? No matter how strong the Dao Yang Divine Gate is, it can only be tyrannical in the Divine Desolate. Could he really send those divine generals down? At most, they can only send immortal emperors from the sacred Desolate. But as long as Qin Yun goes to the immortal Xian Desert or the Purple Ice Sacred City to hide, what can those immortal emperors do? Also, the sacred Desolate sent several immortal kings to capture Qin Yun. Guess what happened? They are all dead. This immortal Desolate is not as weak as we thought. Otherwise, the altar in the great desert sacred city would not have been torn down. Bai Shuangyan nodded and said, with the same cultivation, no one is Qin Yun's match. Moreover, this guy's growth speed is very fast. As long as he becomes a 9th-level Xian Immortal, it will be a piece of cake for him to tear down our Purple Ice Sacred City's altar. Purple Ice City Lord sighed and said, This is what I am worried about. Now that the world extermination is approaching, the sun is changing and all kinds of creatures in the immortal Desolate are rapidly becoming stronger. This guy Qin Yun, not only is he powerful, he is also from the Inscription Profound sect. He will definitely be able to obtain a large amount of resources. Becoming a 9th-level Xian Immortal is only a matter of 1 or 2 years. If we become enemies with Qin Yun, we might all die here. City Lord, you should personally go and talk to Qin Yun to resolve the conflict. That day I offered to lend him a saint tool, so he gave me face. Otherwise we would have all been killed by him, Bai Shuangyan said. At this time, inside the Purple Ice Sacred City's sun altar, a very strong spatial fluctuation appeared. After feeling this spatial fluctuation, the Purple Ice City Lord's expression slightly changed. He said in a low voice, The altar has opened, could it be that someone has teleported over? Then, he took out the magic mirror and contacted the elders inside the altar. Soon, he learned of the situation. Elder Wu suddenly rushed in and shouted, City Lord, the higher-ups have sent people over. There are a total of 6 9th-level Xian Immortals, all of them are combat type. I know. Purple Ice City Lord's expression became gloomy. The higher-ups suddenly sent people over and did not discuss with us beforehand. It seems that they are dissatisfied with us and want to send people to replace us. Young Master Bai said in a low voice, That is because Father is too weak and afraid of this guy Qin Yun. It is normal for you to be replaced by others. Shut up. The City Lord of Purple Ice City roared and raised his palm to hit him. Elder Wu quickly stopped him and said, City Lord, let's quickly go and welcome those 6 people. Purple Ice City Lord snorted and was about to go out when he sensed several auras. They are here. Bai Shuangyan said in a low voice. The people who walked into the hall are 6 very young men. They are all wearing battle armor and their bodies are emitting an arrogant aura. With a glance, one can tell that they are 9th-level Xian Immortals with very strong battle strength. Bai Wu, I heard that you are not willing to capture that Qin Yun, right? A man wearing golden battle armor said. From today onwards, this Purple Ice Sacred City will be taken over by me, Lung Wanquang. I don't accept. Bai Wu said with a frown. My Purple Ice Sacred City has just started. Moreover, when I came here, my main goal was to subdue the Inscription Beast. Sect Master and the others also said not to complicate matters. Elder Wu also said, You can capture Qin Yun, but that is your business. We were sent here to subdue the Inscription Beast. Ling Wanquang looked at young Master Bai, whose face is swollen, and said, What's going on? I am just teaching my son a lesson. Bai Wu said indifferently, I am still the City Lord. If you take over this city, then I can only take the people I recruited and leave. Ling Wanquang looked at young Master Bai and said, Why were you beaten? It's all because of my father. Young Master Bai did not dare to continue. Speak, I will protect you, Ling Wanquang said in a loud voice. Young Master Bai told Ling Wanquang everything that had happened. After Ling Wanquang finished listening, He laughed loudly and said, "Bai Wu, you are truly a coward. Little brother, quickly take us to find Qin Yun. I really didn't expect that just as we arrived, Qin Yun would deliver himself to our doorstep." "Yes, big brother Ling. You are truly wise and mighty. We are from Sacred Desolate, we should not be afraid of Qin Yun." Young Master Bai is wild with joy and said, "Let's go, we will capture Qin Yun and let the entire Immortal Desolate know. In this way we will be able to recruit even more heroes." Ling Wanquan glanced at Bai Wu and the others and said with sneer, "Wait until I capture Qin Yun, then you can obediently abdicate. Rest assured, I will take good care of your son and make him the core of Purple Ice Sacred City." Finished speaking, these few ninth-layer Xian immortals from Sacred Desolate brought along young Master Bai and left Purple Ice Sacred City and rushed towards Qin Yun's location. Elder Wu somewhat anxiously said, "City Master, what should we do? Aren't those people above too disrespecting you?" Bai Wu faintly smiled. "No problem, Qin Yun will help me get rid of them. Let's follow them, I want to capture that stupid son of mine." Bai Wu chased after them, Bai Shuangyan and Elder Wu followed closely behind. After they left, they saw many people leaving the city one after another, saying that they want to follow and watch a good show. Qin Yun is in the first floor of Floating Cloud Pagoda. He doesn't know that a few powerful warriors from Sacred Desolate are coming to capture him. Bai Xiaohu is lying on a soft cushion, her body is covered with a quilt, she is recuperating. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door. Qin Yun opened the door and saw Xian Rujing wearing a black robe and white mask. After Xian Rujing came in, she saw a woman lying in a corner and realized that she is the little fox demon Qin Yun mentioned to her before. "Yu is still not here?" Qin Yun asked. "Not yet, she should be here soon. We will go out to meet her when the time comes." Xian Rujing took off her mask, looked at the runes on the golden wall all around and said with frown, "Where did this stone building come from? These runes on the wall give me a very familiar feeling." At this time, Bai Xiaohu woke up and saw Xian Rujing's elegant and exceptional face. She is completely stunned. "Hello, big sister," Bai Xiaohu said in low voice. "Hello. Rest well and heal your injuries." Xian Rujing walked over, stroked Bai Xiaohu's head and smiled. Soon after, Qin Yun closed the door, brought Xian Rujing to another corner, stood on the round disc and teleported to 20th floor. After arriving at 20th floor, Qin Yun said, "Rujing, look at the runes on the walls all around, do you know what kind of runes they are?" Chapter 14:12. Sacred Desolate Warrior. Xian Rujing looked at those runes and tried very hard to recall, but she cannot remember anything. She shook her head and said with sigh, "I don't remember. When I first saw these runes, I was still a young girl. I don't know how many years have passed, I only have a vague impression." "If you can't remember, then don't think about it." Qin Yun laughed. "Later when we go to Divine Desolate, we will clarify this matter." Divine Desolate? I don't know if the sun will fall or not when we go to Divine Desolate. Xian Rujing is still looking at those runes. If I cooperate with a very strong god, there should be no problem. Qin Yun said. Xian Rujing arrived at the center and looked at a table that looks like an altar. She saw a small golden statue and said with smile, "Did you carve it yourself? That hammer should be 9 Sun Divine Hammer, right? You are really narcissistic, you carved a small statue for yourself and even placed it here. I know you are handsome, but you don't need to look at your own statue all day, right? Besides, wouldn't it be better to make a big one?" Qin Yun walked over with smile and patted Xian Rujing's butt. Xian Rujing jumped in fright, then gnashed her jade teeth and glared at Qin Yun. It looks like she wants to bite him. "Where did you get this stone building?" Xian Rujing touched her, but that was patted by Qin Yun and asked. "I picked it up," Qin Yun said with smile. Xian Rujing glared at Qin Yun. Her expression is filled with disbelief. She curled her lips and said, This stone building's defense is very strong, it is not an ordinary thing. Even if you picked it up, it would not be easy for you to control it, right? I indeed picked it up. Qin Yun suddenly stopped smiling. He sat on the altar and picked up the small statue. He began narrating how he obtained Floating Cloud Pagoda. Xian Rujing found out that he obtained it from a divine mountain, and it looks like an altar. Her expression is filled with amazement, and she sank into contemplation. Goddess Rujing, I did not carve this statue myself, it has always been here. Qin Yun's expression gradually became solemn as he spoke. He looked at Xian Rujing and said, My past life was immortal King Fuyun. Maybe immortal King Fuyun had another past life, maybe it was from Divine Desolate, do you think this is possible? Yes. Xian Rujing promptly nodded her head, her elegant jade-like face is filled with doubt as she said, Now we can be sure that your past life's immortal King Fuyun also suffered heavenly punishment and it is the same for you in this life. That means that you have been punished by the heavens in every life. Perhaps you have not only experienced 2 lives, but 3 or even more. Xian Rujing hammered Qin Yun's chest and said with frown, You bastard, why is your whole body filled with mysteries? You've made me so interested in you. If you are a very strong god in the divine wasteland, then you must be one of those ancient gods, or even from the previous era. Maybe we had a dispute in the past. Qin Yun said with smile. Impossible, I have never met such a lowly guy like you in my memory. Xian Rujing curled her lip. Qin Yun extended his hand and pinched Xian Rujing's cheek. Xian Rujing let out a strange cry, slapped away Qin Yun's hand and cursed. You bastard, why are you becoming more and more clumsy? I'm telling you, I'm the pure and clean ice goddess, don't you dare touch me. Don't pretend, who do you think you are to me? You even wanted to screw me before to obtain my sacred sun spirit vein. Qin Yun waved his hand with mischievous smile. Pay. Xian Rujing stamped her foot and spat in low voice. You bastard, don't talk nonsense about these things. Goddess Rujing, I let you obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow, how can you treat me like this? Qin Yun said in a bad mood. Little brother Xiao Yun, I know my mistake. Xian Rujing felt that she was somewhat fierce towards Qin Yun just now and immediately became charming and gentle again. All right, you are an ice mother tigress, you won't be able to pretend to be gentle for long. Qin Yun said with smile. It's good that you know. Xian Rujing also sat on the altar, took out the sun-suppressing divine arrow, and said with charming smile, I have to say, you are truly skilled. If it were not for you, me and you would not have been able to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow. She finished speaking, pinched Qin Yun's handsome face and said with sweet smile, As expected of my little brother Xiao Yun. If we have the opportunity to go to Divine Desolate in the future, I guarantee that I will protect you. Oh, that's right, I let you obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow, shouldn't you show some gratitude? Don't you have the snow goddess totem? I am very interested in this totem. Qin Yun said with smile. I cannot give it to you now. But rest assured, I guarantee that I will give it to you, I will keep my word. Xian Rujing said. All right, I believe you. Qin Yun said with smile. Also, you said that you will introduce star gods to me, when will you let me contact star gods? Xian Rujing spread out her lily-white palm, closed her eyes and released very strong mental power from her body. Not long after, a strand of faint golden thread condensed in her palm. This is a strand of my divine soul, it can let you communicate with star gods. It is best to do it at night. Xian Rujing handed over the strand of golden thread to Qin Yun. Qin Yun took out a soul-sealing pearl and stored the strand of divine soul inside. Xian Rujing said again, Star gods are rather flirtatious, they are that kind of perverted woman. You must pay attention to her, don't let her instigate you to do bad things. Whether you can cooperate with her or not, it all depends on you. All right. Qin Yun stored away the soul-sealing pearl and asked, "Is Star God not afraid of Dao Yang Divine Gate?" "She is afraid, but she is very courageous. Moreover, she likes to take risks, she is very rebellious, she always wants to fight against those rude and unreasonable formidable powers. I was implicated by her in Divine Desolate. Luckily I was able to escape smoothly, otherwise my soul would have flown away and scattered." Xian Rujing is sitting on the altar, her head is lowered, her slender legs are swaying, she is faintly sighing. Qin Yun now understands why she is in such dire strait. "It seems like she is very similar to me." Qin Yun is suddenly looking forward to cooperating with star gods. "That's right. So I don't want you to follow her, even though Evil God is a bottom feeder. He is very afraid of death, so he is very cautious. But star gods are different, maybe they will bring you even greater calamity. You have already brought a great calamity, even if you follow star gods, you will not bring any greater calamity." Xian Rujing said with helpless expression. Bang! Floating Cloud Pagoda suddenly fiercely shook. Qin Yun said with smile, "The calamity I brought has come. I ask the most beautiful ice and snow goddess of Divine Desolate to help me deal with it." Xian Rujing rolled her eyes, sighed, then walked towards the disc at the corner and yelled, "Quickly come!" After arriving at the first floor, Bai Xiaohu has already woken up. "Young Master Qin, big sister. They are here." Bai Xiaohu's face is filled with worry, she said in low voice. "It is my fault, I implicated young Master Qin." "It's fine." Xian Rujing laughed. "Big sister, I will deal with those bastards." Xian Rujing is a very high-level Xian immortal, moreover she is ice and snow goddess. After cultivating all kind of divine arts, her strength has become even stronger. Even if she doesn't use sun-suppressing divine arrow, she can still deal with those formidable Xian immortals. Qin Yun promptly informed Xian Rujing about the conflict earlier. He doubtfully muttered, "Bai Shuangyan still has 2 holy swords in my hands. Now that they are attacking, does it mean they don't want those 2 holy swords anymore?" Xian Rujing is standing beside a window, looking at those few young men wearing battle armor and said, "Those 6 guys are all from Sacred Desolate. They are wearing sacred tier armor, even the weapons in their hands are sacred tools. That is Purple Ice City Master." Xian Rujing pointed at Bai Wu and said. Qin Yun looked over and saw that middle-aged man with wide face. He is wearing silver armor and is standing beside Bai Shuangyan and Elder Wu. They have a gloating expression on their face. "Young Master Qin, the ones attacking the stone building are not us. Although they came from Purple Ice Sacred City's altar, they are not with us." Bai Shuangyan suddenly yelled. Boom! Floating Cloud Pagoda suffered another fierce attack. This time it is Leng Wanquang who used a fiery red meteor hammer to attack. Leng Wanquang is indeed very strong, but no matter how strong he is far from being as strong as those immortal kings from before. Qin Yun's Floating Cloud Pagoda was attacked by those immortal kings using sacred tools earlier, but it is still intact. Qin Yun yelled from inside, "Young Lady Bai, you have 2 holy swords with me. Young Master Qin, I am Purple Ice Sacred City's City Master Bai Wu. I will surely fulfill the conditions Shuangyan promised you before. I have brought the core fragments and divine fruits." Bai Wu yelled. Leng Wanquang furiously said, "Shut up! I am Purple Ice Sacred City's City Master." Because he is unable to break through Qin Yun's pagoda, Leng Wanquang is very angry. On the way here, young Master Bai boasted about him. And now there are thousands of people looking at him, yet he is unable to break through a seemingly dilapidated stone building. Xian Rujing said in low voice, "It seems like Sacred Desolate sent someone to replace Bai Wu." Leng Wanquang yelled towards Floating Cloud Pagoda, "Qin Yun, quickly come out! What kind of man are you hiding inside? Aren't you very capable? You destroyed Great Desert Sacred City's altar? You even killed Xiao Tianxiu. If you have the guts, come out and fight me." "To tell you the truth, I was entrusted by Dao Yang Divine Sect's great deity to capture you. I want to send your soul to Divine Desolate through the altar. You destroyed Dao Yang Divine Sect's altar and angered many formidable deities of Dao Yang Divine Sect. If you obediently cooperate, maybe you can avoid the punishment of having your soul scattered. Otherwise, if you are captured, your soul will be tortured for 10,000 years. Qin Yun suddenly opened the door. Boom! A flaming meteor hammer ferociously rushed over. Although the door was open, there was a spirit formation that blocked the meteor hammer. The meteor hammer was fixed on the door. Qin Yun quickly walked over, grabbed the chain on the meteor hammer and vigorously pulled it. This caused the spectators to cry out in alarm because Qin Yun wants to snatch the meteor hammer. Quickly come and help me. Ling Wanquang also did not expect that Qin Yun would actually want to snatch his sacred tool. Soon after, 5 other 9th-layer Xian immortal warriors from Sacred Desolate hastily walked over, grabbed the chain of the meteor hammer and pulled it back. Xian Rujing suddenly walked over, grabbed the meteor hammer and said to Qin Yun, "Let go." After Qin Yun let go, Xian Rujing's lily-white hands suddenly flickered with many electric threads. Chapter 14:13. Different direction. Those people outside the door saw Qin Yun suddenly let go and a beautiful woman came to talk to them. They are very surprised. They all thought that Xian Rujing is that little fox demon, so they subconsciously thought that she is very weak. But they did not expect that after Xian Rujing grabbed the chain, she poured in frantic tribulation thunder. The chain immediately burst with electric light, causing Ling Wanquang's group to twitch violently. Fortunately, they are all wearing sacred tier armors. After they poured in their power, the sacred tier armors immediately resisted the tribulation thunder. However, they can still sense that Xian Rujing's power is very strong. She was actually pulled away by 6 of them who are 9th-layer upper immortals. Those guys have very strong Saint tier armor, they are not easy to deal with. Xian Rujing said in low voice. Qin Yun walked over and together with Xian Rujing pulled the chain, then released a devouring power through the chain and started absorbing the power of Ling Wanquang's group. Ling Yuner controlled the devouring power to pass through the chain and lock onto Ling Wanquang's group. This way, it will not affect Xian Rujing. The chain is a part of the meteor hammer, moreover it is a sacred tool, so the energy inside is flowing very smoothly. Qin Yun can easily absorb the energy in a short while. Xian Rujing also knows that Qin Yun has nether sun. She cannot help but feel astonished after sensing the devouring power. That bastard! He is absorbing our power! Qin Yun quickly let go. Ling Wanquang loudly cursed. Qin Yun, quickly let go! You came to capture me, moreover you destroyed my pagoda, I will not let you off. Qin Yun laughed loudly and said, "Didn't you come from Sacred Desolate? Didn't you think you are very awesome? Quickly destroy this pagoda and capture me." Ling Wanquang now knows how difficult it is to deal with Qin Yun. He furiously said, "You son of a bitch, scram out! Why are you hiding inside like a turtle?" Qin Yun took out the Lion King cannon and handed it over to Xian Rujing. Xian Rujing also knows how to use the Lion King cannon. She took it and poured in her formidable Xian immortal power. She faintly smiled at Ling Wanquang who is standing outside the door, and then released the Xian immortal power. It must be known that Xian Rujing cultivates divine arts, moreover she has a secret method to obtain divine liquid. She directly cultivates divine body and divine soul. Xian immortal power contains very weak divine power. Although her divine power was weak, it was able to bring her incomparably powerful strength in the immortal desolate. Boom! The ball of ice-cold white light shot by the Lion King cannon exploded on the bodies of Ling Wanquang and the others, giving rise to a bone-chilling wind. Ling Wanquang and the others were frozen into ice sculptures. At the same time, Qin Yun also pulled the meteor hammer over. Seeing Qin Yun snatch a sacred artifact, The spectators in the distance let out exclamations. Bang! Ling Wanquang's armor exploded with a red light, knocking away the ice. He angrily said to Bai Wu, "Why didn't you help me earlier? It's useless even if I help. Besides, young Master Qin and I are not enemies." Bai Wu said indifferently, "I've said it before. Young Master Qin is very strong. It's not wise to make an enemy out of him." Qin Yun snatched the meteor hammer, waved it in his hand and said with smile, "You dare to be arrogant in front of me with just this bit of ability? Could it be that you don't know how Qiao Tianshu died? Ha ha ha. Qin Yun, don't be arrogant. Look at you, you are so scared by us that you don't dare to come out. If you have the guts, come out and take a few steps. I guarantee that I will beat you until you kneel and beg for forgiveness." Ling Wanquang laughed loudly and took out a large saber. Xian Rujing glanced at Qin Yun, then walked out. Suddenly a long rod that seems to be emitting white flame appeared in her hand. Qin Yun is somewhat startled. Xian Rujing is holding sun-suppressing divine arrow in her hand, but the flame is white, moreover it is bringing along cold air. And his sun-suppressing divine arrow is red flame. Qin Yun followed behind Xian Rujing, waving the meteor hammer in his hand. Seeing Qin Yun come out, Ling Wanquang immediately flew over and arrived in front of Qin Yun and Xian Rujing in a blink. He brandished his saber and swept it horizontally. Xian Rujing's expression turned cold, her lily-white hands suddenly became covered with frost and condensed into a thick layer of ice. She unexpectedly grabbed Ling Wanquang's sacred saber with her bare hands. This caused a large group of people to cry out in alarm. Hu Qi! The sun-suppressing divine arrow in Xian Rujing's hand that is emitting dense white flame fiercely stabbed towards Ling Wanquang. Ling Wanquang's armor sensed a very strong attack approaching and immediately released a very strong energy barrier. However, the sun-suppressing divine arrow in Xian Rujing's hand is even stronger, it is a divine tool. Moreover, it has absorbed a bit of divine power, its might is even more dreadful, it very easily pierced through Ling Wanquang's body. Everyone knows that Ling Wanquang's armor is sacred tier armor, but now it has been easily pierced through. The sun-suppressing divine arrow in Xian Rujing's hand is covered with white flame, it is impossible to see what it is. Everyone also thinks that it is a spear. Qin Yun suddenly took out Bai Shuangyan's 2 sacred swords, rushed over and slashed at Ling Wanquang. After Ling Wanquang's armor was pierced, it became damaged and lost its defense. Qin Yun slashed 2 times and chopped off Ling Wanquang's head. Then he chopped off Ling Wanquang's body from his waist. Xian Rujing took back the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Her ice-cold beautiful eyes looked at those people rushing over. Suddenly 5 white-haired women who look exactly the same as Xian Rujing appeared all around. They are the Snow Woman Immortals she summoned. After the Snow Woman Immortals appeared, their bodies transformed into white snow and coiled around those 5 young men wearing sacred tier armor. Xian Rujing also rushed over. The sun-suppressing divine arrow in her hand stabbed 5 times and pierced through those 5 ninth-layer Xian immortal soldiers. Bai Wu father and son, as well as Bai Shuangyan and Elder Wu who are at the side, now their faces are filled with fear, their backs are drenched in sweat, they are all worried that Xian Rujing will suddenly attack them. Is that woman the Sun Fairy? Isn't she blonde? Bai Wu asked in low voice. Could it be Xiao Yuelan? Or Shimen Chuqian? It is not the Sun Fairy. It is also not Xiao Yuelan or Shimen Chuqian. Bai Shuangyan looked at Xian Rujing, this cold and elegant beauty whose face is as cold as frost. Her heart is filled with amazement. 6 ninth-layer Xian immortal soldiers who just arrived from Sacred Desolate, they brought many sacred tier equipment with them, but now they are all dead. Bai Wu promptly stored his stupid son inside a magic tool, then walked over to Qin Yun and said with smile, "Young Master Qin, here are 5 inner core fragments and 5 divine fruits." He directly handed over these things to Qin Yun. He also turned a blind eye to the corpses on the ground, It is as if nothing happened. These are young Lady Bai's sacred swords. Qin Yun handed over the 2 sacred swords and said. Bai Shuangyan promptly walked over and took the 2 sacred swords. Alright, we are even. We don't owe each other anything, Qin Yun said with smile. He can also see that this Purple Ice City Master is scared to death. Bai Wu is very grateful to Qin Yun in his heart. If those 6 guys were not killed, he would have to give up his position as Purple Ice City Master. And Bai Wu also wants to make friends with Qin Yun, but he doesn't dare. So he didn't say anything and directly left. Other people also left. They are worried that they will be killed if they stay here. Xian Rujing looked at the corpses on the ground and said with smile, that city master is scared to death. He doesn't even dare to collect these guys' corpses. Even though their armors are damaged, they were made with many sacred tier materials. They are very good for me to refine cannon arrows, Qin Yun said with mischievous smile, then stripped off the armors and stored them. Divine tool is indeed divine tool. It can easily poke a hole in a sacred tool. Xian Rujing sweetly smiled and said while playing with the sun-suppressing divine arrow. My sun-suppressing divine arrow has normal red flame, Qin Yun said. Mine has white ice flame. It seems like it was influenced by me. Xian Rujing is very fond of the sun-suppressing divine arrow, she sighed and said. I have been in Divine Desolate for so many years, yet I could not find such a good divine tool. Little brother Xiaoyun, thank you so much. How are you going to thank me? After Qin Yun stripped off the armors, he released flame and burned the corpses. Little brother Xiaoyun, don't tell me you want big sister to devote her life to you? Xian Rujing said with charming smile. Even though I want to, Yuelon will not let me. Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. Divine Desolate's most beautiful ice and snow goddess, you are wrong, Yuelon will definitely agree. Xian Rujing said with slight anger. I don't believe it. At this time, she took out the magic mirror and said, Yu is outside, we should quickly go see her. Qin Yun let Bai Xiaohu continue healing inside the floating cloud pagoda. Then the floating cloud pagoda shrunk and followed Xian Rujing. They ran through this world of ice and snow and left the Purple Ice Mountain Range. After an hour, they left the Purple Ice Mountain Range and arrived at a dark green and verdant mountain outside. Yu is wearing black robe and mask. She is at the top of the mountain. Qin Yun and Xian Rujing arrived at the top of the mountain. Yu also took off her mask, revealing a cold and beautiful face. Everyone is fine, this is good. Yu's face showed a rare smile. My sun-suppressing divine arrow, guide me this way. Qin Yun took out his sun-suppressing divine arrow that is emitting flames. His sun-suppressing divine arrow is floating in the air and pointing towards a certain direction. Yu's sun-suppressing divine arrow is emitting black flames. The direction it is pointing towards is different from Qin Yun's direction. And Xian Rujing's white flame sun-suppressing divine arrow is pointing towards the same direction as Yu. Different direction? Qin Yun said with frown. How about this, we will accompany you first. Yu said, I don't feel at ease letting you go alone. Yuji contacted me before and told me to protect you. If anything happens to you, she will hate me to death. Xian Rujing said with charming smile. Yu, I see that you also want to protect little brother Xiaoyun, right? He let me obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow. He has done me a great favor. So what if I want to protect him? Yu curled her lips and said, No need. Divine Arrow's mission should be rather special, I will go alone. You also have your own mission, you better hurry up and complete it. If you can't complete it, your life will be in danger. Qin Yun smiled at Yu. I can take care of myself. Yu, this guy is not allowed to enter Immortal Desolate, but he still came. We don't need to worry about him. Xian Rujing said with smile. Alright, we will keep in touch. Yu thought about it and agreed to let Qin Yun go alone. Qin Yun nodded and stored the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Then he released Bai Xiaohu and asked Yu to make arrangements for her. Goodbye, our devil mirror will keep in touch. Qin Yun soared into the sky and quickly flew high in the sky. Yu stood at the top of the mountain. Her expression is complicated as she looked at Qin Yun, who is far away. Only when she can no longer see him did she put on her mask and left with Xian Rujing. Chapter 14:14. Star God. After flying for more than half a day, Qin Yun only knew that he was still in the earth state. Then, he took out the sun-suppressing divine arrow again. After confirming that the direction was correct, he continued flying. From time to time, he would take out the compass to search for the floating cloud sky seal. He wanted to see if the other parts of the floating cloud sky seal were nearby. However, they were not nearby. They seemed to be further away. At night, Qin Yun flew in the night sky and looked at the vast expanse of stars in the sky. Countless stars were like floating luminous grains of sand in the sky, covering the entire sky. Xiaoyun, try to contact Star God. Ling Yun'er suddenly said. Qin Yun quickly landed on a tall mountain below and took out the floating cloud pagoda. He sat cross-legged at the top of the floating cloud pagoda and looked at the stars in the sky. He discovered that there was also a teleportation array on the top floor of the floating cloud pagoda, which could teleport to the floors below. Can a wisp of divine soul in the soul-sealing pearl really contact the Star God? Qin Yun looked at the wisp of golden thread in the soul-sealing pearl and felt that it was somewhat inconceivable. After all, it was only a wisp of divine soul, but it had the power to communicate with the divine wilderness Star God. He held the soul-sealing bead, closed his eyes, and immersed his divine sense into the golden thread. With his eyes closed, he did not know that many of the stars in the sky had suddenly moved rapidly. However, Ling Yun'er discovered it and shouted in surprise. Xiao Yun, there are many stars moving in the starry sky. Could it be that they are setting up a formation? Qin Yun opened his eyes and indeed, he saw many stars forming a halo in the sky. Many of the stars within the halo were slowly moving. Seeing this scene, Qin Yun was alarmed. A moving star rune? Dynamic runes? Seeing the huge star array that suddenly appeared in the sky, Qin Yun suddenly received a great inspiration. In the past, most of the runes he carved would not move, as if they were dead. Only when the energy flowed through the runes would there be energy movement inside. But now that he saw runes that could move, he suddenly had a strange idea. If he could create some living runes, wouldn't their power become very strong? Just as he was deep in thought, the soul-sealing pearl in his hand suddenly trembled. Then, a light and pleasant female voice came out. It was very gentle and beautiful. "Little sister Bingxue, is that you?" the woman asked. "No. I am Qin Yun." Qin Yun said. He is sure that the woman with the charming and captivating voice is the Star God. "Ah, man. You're a man? What did you do to Sister Bingxue?" Star God asked hurriedly. She introduced me to you," Qin Yun quickly said. "I didn't do anything to her." "Liar, you didn't do anything to her, so why would she trust you so much that she would let you contact me?" the Star God said in a displeased tone, her voice revealing a kind of charm that could make one's bones go soft. Qin Yun said, "I helped her obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow. In order to repay me, she recommended me to contact Lord Star God and cooperate with you." The Star God giggled and said, "Little man, you are quite capable. You actually let my sister obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Quickly tell me, did she use her body to seduce you, and that's why you helped her?" "No." Qin Yun finally understands why Xian Rujing is worried that he would collude with Star God. This Star God is truly evil. "I don't believe it." The Star God laughed tenderly. "Ice and snow goddess is ice, cold, like an ice mother tigress, she even bit me a few times. We can be considered as life and death friends, that's why we are friends with great contradiction. After Qin Yun explained, he said with smile. To be honest, she is like an ice mother tigress. I am really afraid that she will eat me up until not even my bones are left. Ha ha ha, little brother, are you not afraid of telling her? Star God laughed very happily. Of course not. Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. Sister Star God, you are her good sister, right? Then you must know many of her scandals. Can you share them with me? No problem. But you must tell me, did she say anything bad about me in front of you? Star God feels that Qin Yun is very amusing and said with gentle smile. She said you are very evil, perverted and very flirtatious. Qin Yun said. I am indeed very evil, little brother, are you afraid of me? Star God's voice is very gentle and charming. Although he cannot see her, Qin Yun cannot help but let his imagination run wild. No, it's not like I have never met a female rogue, Qin Yun said with smile. Tell me honestly, is there really nothing going on between you and little sister Xue Xue? If you did not have good feelings, she would not have exposed her identity as Ice Goddess and would not have let you contact me. Star God asked. She forcefully kissed me. Qin Yun sighed. Hee hee. Star God heard this and laughed incessantly. She is still the same, cold, stuffy and flirtatious. Sister Star God, you must be very beautiful, you won't do anything bad to me, right? I am an honest person. Qin Yun curled his lips and said. I'm also an honest girl, I won't harm you. The Star God laughed. Besides, how can I harm you? You helping little sister Xue Xue is the same as helping me. Qin Yun also knows that Xian Rujing has fallen to such a state because she was implicated by Star God. Star God said again. I have never cooperated with a man, moreover I don't want to cooperate with a man. However, you are the man who was forcefully kissed by little sister Xue Xue. Moreover, you helped her obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow. It must be very interesting. I want to see what she sees in you. She actually forcefully kissed you. If you are a good man, I will snatch you away. Big Sister Star God, I cooperated with Evil God before. Qin Yun suddenly said. Evil God? He is at the bottom of the God list. Then why don't you cooperate with him now? Star God asked. I destroyed the Dao Yang Divine Gates altar. The Evil God was afraid of being implicated by me, so we decided to part ways. Qin Yun said with smile. Big Sister Star God, aren't you afraid of being implicated by me? Star God did not immediately speak, she is clearly startled. After being silent for a moment, Star God's charming voice came again and again, she said with smile. Xue Xue is indeed worthy of being my good little sister, she sent me such a clown. Good good good. Very good, Dao Yang Divine Gate is my great enemy. Big Sister Star God, I still have 17-layer sun altar. Qin Yun said with smile. How about I change it to Star God altar? Moreover, I have Star Lord Inscription Spirit, I am also an inscription master. Very good. Find a safe place and stack up the 17-layer sun altar. Then place the strand of remnant soul in your hand at the top of the altar. Star God is very happy, she said with smile. Big Sister Star God, I picked up a very special altar, I am also not sure if it is an altar or not. Qin Yun thought for a moment and decided to tell Star God about Floating Cloud Pagoda. He earnestly said, Big Sister Star God, I picked up a very special altar, I am also not sure if it is an altar or not. He told Star God about Floating Cloud Pagoda in detail. After Star God finished listening, she seems to be pondering. After a while she said, Xiao Yun, take out the 17-layer sun altar first, I will transform it into Star God altar. Then I will go take a look at your Floating Cloud Pagoda. You can come over? Qin Yun said in amazement. I can send a strand of divine soul over, it can also transform into my appearance but it won't last long. Star God giggled and said, When the time comes, you will be able to see me. Qin Yun stored away Floating Cloud Pagoda, then flew to a distant flat area. He quickly took out the sun altar and stacked it layer by layer. After stacking, he released the strand of divine soul from the soul-sealing pearl. Most of the stars in the sky are now converging on the top of the altar. Qin Yun now knows how awesome gods are. They can actually easily control the stars of the immortal world and form a very large star formation in the sky. After the large star formation on the sky above the altar finished condensing, suddenly a rainbow-like light beam shot down and attacked the altar. The sun altar was originally golden, but now it was gradually turning white, and it was also gradually becoming smaller. The entire structure of the altar seems to have suddenly changed. The altar kept shrinking until it became only 1 meter tall. It is very small. Even though it still has 17 layers, it has shrunk a lot. When Qin Yun ran over, he saw a woman wearing light red long skirt appear on the altar. Although this woman is very beautiful, she is not a breathtaking beauty. However, her face is intelligent and beautiful, her beautiful eyes are overflowing with charm, her face has a faint smile, making her very charming and moving. This is the illusory image of Star God's divine soul. After Qin Yun clearly saw Star God's appearance, he suddenly stopped in shock. Because the appearance of the woman on the altar is exactly the same as Yu Shutian. However, Yu Shutian does not have soul-stealing charm like Star God. On the contrary, she is very pure and elegant, giving people the feeling that she is the daughter of a humble family. Hee. Xiao Yun, quickly come over. Big sister won't eat you. Star God's charming eyes are like silk, her smile is like a flower. She saw Qin Yun is looking at her in a daze. She chuckled and said, "You are really something, you are so captivated by Big Sister, how will you do great things later?" Qin Yun walked over and said with frown, "Big Sister Star God, you look exactly the same as my friend. Her name is Yu Shutian, she is the Star Fairy Princess." "Xiaotian? You know her?" Star God is somewhat amazed, then said with smile, "She is a strand of my divine soul, it can be considered as my avatar, she has her own consciousness." "So you are saying that she is you and you are her?" Qin Yun also knows that this is a very peculiar existence. Immortal spirit snow is like this, it is ice goddess hidden avatar. Indeed. If one day my soul is scattered in divine desolate, I can be reborn in immortal desolate through Xiao Tian. Star God pouted coquettishly and said, "Did you bully Xiao Tian? She can be considered as my little sister now." "Of course not, she is my good friend. It was me who helped her awaken the Star Fairy inheritance." Qin Yun laughed and then told Star God about how he met Yu Shutian. Star God's shapely eyebrows are slightly creased, she looks very flirtatious. She muttered in low voice, "It seems like we are truly fated. This is not an ordinary coincidence. Quickly take me to see your floating cloud pagoda." Qin Yun took out the floating cloud pagoda, then brought the Star God altar inside and directly teleported to 20th floor. In order to clarify the mysteries of this floating cloud pagoda and his past life, Qin Yun told the Star God about his Sun Soul and Nether Sunday. He also told the Star God about the heavenly punishment and the enemy of the heavenly Tao. The Star God had been very shocked at first, but after that charming face of hers gradually grew serious. She is staring at the statue on the altar without saying anything, clearly she has seen through something. Suddenly the image on the Star God altar gradually became indistinct. Qin Yun yelled, "Big Sister Star God! What happened to you?" Chapter 14-15. Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. After the image of the Star God disappeared, the soul-sealing pearl trembled slightly and said, "Xiao Yun, put the Star God altar here and replace the original altar. Once I'm safe, I'll merge the Star God altar with your floating cloud pagoda." "Combine them? Will it become even more powerful?" asked Qin Yun. Of course I will. I don't know exactly what will happen. In short, it will be good for both you and me. The star god said, the people from the Dao Yang divine sect have already killed their way into my territory. I'll run first. Hey, star god sis, about the origin of this floating cloud pagoda and that statue, what's going on? Qin Yun asked hurriedly. I'm not sure yet. I'll let you know once I find out. Anyway, this is a very important matter, and I can't speak carelessly without understanding it clearly. Alright, tell Sister Bingxue that we had a great time working together. The previously serious star god suddenly laughed tenderly. You tell her, I want to snatch her man. Sister star god, what's your name? Qin Yun asked. Me? Her name is Sweet Star. Star deity giggled mischievously. Let's not talk about it, I'm running for my life. The next time you want to contact me, just shout at the altar at night. If it's convenient for me, I'll appear to meet you. Oh, then Sister Sweet Star, you have to be careful, Qin Yun said. I know, I'm already used to it, the star god said with a smile. Qin Yun looked at the shrinking 17-level star god altar and sighed. He was worried that the star god would be killed by the people from the Dao Yang divine sect. After all, it wasn't easy for him to work with a more capable god. If he was killed, he wouldn't know where to find another god. He put away the floating cloud pagoda and continued to fly in the direction of the sun-suppressing divine arrow. On the road, he took out the devil mirror and contacted Xian Rujing. Sister Rujing, I have cooperated with Star God, Qin Yun said with smile. The process can be considered pleasant. She said she wants to steal your man. Humph, this slut is still the same as before. Oh, that's right, did she speak ill of me? Xian Rujing promptly asked. She said that you are still as cold and sultry as before, Qin Yun said with smile. Xian Rujing lightly groaned. Hearing that Star God is being chased by Dao Yang divine sect, she suddenly became worried. Xian Rujing and you are going in the same direction. It is unknown if their final destination is the same or not. They were now flying in the air, heading in the direction indicated by the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Qin Yun put away the magic mirror and sped up. He wanted to reach the sun-suppressing divine arrow as soon as possible. The sky is about to brighten, but Qin Yun is still flying in the sky. He took out the vibrating magic mirror and saw that Xiao Yuelon is contacting him. He immediately accepted and asked, Yuelon, what's the matter? Xiao Yun, where are you? I met a very strong Xian immortal. That bastard has a sun-suppressing divine arrow, Xiao Yuelon said. Long family Xian immortal? Qin Yun frowned and told Xiao Yuelon about his mission. After Xiao Yuelon heard this, she knew that Qin Yun's matter is very important. She said, Xiao Yun, go do your thing first. Oh right, are Chu Qian and Xiao Ling with you? Qin Yun asked. No, the two of them went back to the Moon Palace. We saved a heavily injured inscription beast and brought them back to the Moon Palace to recuperate. Xiao Yuelon said, I am in a city of Earth Province. There is a sacred land nearby called Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. Qin Yun had heard of the Earth Province's sacred land. It was beside a blue river and it was an endless forest. The leaves were blue and at night, they would turn dark blue. The trees in the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest are several hundred meters tall. They are very huge and the bark of the trees is also blue. After Qin Yun determined the direction of the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest through the magic mirror, he is secretly astonished, because his sun-suppressing divine arrow is pointing towards the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. Yuelon, my sun-suppressing divine arrow is guiding me to the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest, Qin Yun said. Really? That's great. I am in the city outside the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. It is the Lan family's Blue Heaven City. Xiao Yuelon laughed tenderly and said, That guy Lan Bufan, it seems like you killed him, right? Qin Yun laughed and did not say anything. After he cut off contact with Xiao Yuelon, He began looking up information regarding the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. The Blue Leaf Sacred Forest is an Earth Immortal level sacred land. Above Xian Immortal is Earth Immortal, above Earth Immortal is Tao Immortal, above Tao Immortal is Golden Immortal. This means that the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest is very dangerous. Only Earth Immortals or Earth Immortal beasts are active inside. If there are inscription beasts, they might even surpass Earth Immortals. It is very dangerous. Earth Province is the activity area of Earth Immortals, Tao Immortals and Golden Immortals. It is also because of the appearance of the sun-suppressing divine arrow that many immortal kings and immortal emperors came here. Immortal kings and immortal emperors are generally in the Heaven Province. Qin Yun stopped to rest because he is preparing to enter the Blue Sky City. If he is in peak condition, he will be able to deal with all kinds of sudden situations. He contacted Xiao Yuelon on a large mountain. Yuelon, you entered the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest? Qin Yun asked. And we are only active in the outer region, Xiao Yuelon replied. This time I might have to go to the depths of the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. I don't know if there will be an altar inside. Qin Yun also doesn't know why the sun-suppressing divine arrow is bringing him in. Xiao Yuelon asked, Xiao Yun, you and Sister Rujing are both Xian Immortal, you should be together. Why is she together with Sister Yu? Qin Yun also has this kind of question. He thought for a moment and replied, maybe their souls are very strong. If all Xian Immortals go to the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest, then I might be able to meet Sister Kiru and Father. After Xia Kiru and Qin Long obtained the sun-suppressing divine arrow, they said that they want to go to a place to complete a task. The Xian Immortal from the Long family who obtained the sun-suppressing divine arrow appeared in the Blue Sky City. Maybe he wants to enter the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. Therefore, Qin Yun guessed that most of the Xian Immortals will enter the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. If that's the case, then that's great. Xiao Yuelon said somewhat excitedly. Xiao Yun, I will go with you. Don't leave me behind and go in by yourself. Got it, I will bring you along, Qin Yun said with smile. He feels that with the floating cloud pagoda, even if he encounters a very strong danger, he will have a place to take refuge. Furthermore, he wants to go in to find Xie Kiru and Qin Long. After resting, Qin Yun flew towards the Blue Sky City. Not long after, he arrived outside the Blue Sky City. This Blue Sky City also has city walls. Furthermore, there are many huge blue tree trunks. They should be from the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. It is said that the reason why the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest was born is because when the Sun Divine Stone fell, many blue-colored Sun Divine Stones gathered together and landed in this area. The Blue Leaf Sacred Forest covers a large area and there is also a space inside. Back then, the humans and beasts in this area all benefited greatly, their cultivation and strength rapidly increased. Especially after their bodies were illuminated by the falling Sun Divine Stone, they have clearly improved. And because the Blue Sky City opened the barrier and blocked many useful blue light, the people in the city missed the opportunity to become stronger, which also caused many people to complain. In order to make up for it, Blue Sky City's Lan family mobilized many people to enter the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest to cut down trees and surround the entire Blue Sky City with those trees that emit blue light. However, it didn't have any effect at all, and it also caused many people to ridicule them. Because those tree trunks emit blue light, the Lan family did not open them up. Moreover, this is a pretty good scenery, so they decided to put up with it. After Qin Yun entered the city, he immediately contacted Xiao Yuelon. When Xiao Yuelon found out that Qin Yun is at the west gate, she immediately rushed over. Not long after, Qin Yun saw Xiao Yuelon. She is wearing a loose gray robe, a white veil covering her face and her hair is casually tied up. After she saw Qin Yun, her originally ice-cold eyes suddenly became very gentle, filled with deep affection. Xiao Yuelon promptly walked over and pulled Qin Yun's hand. She said with smile, Xiao Yun, you are also a Xian immortal. But we are still too weak here. Qin Yun looked around and saw several Earth immortals passing by. It's fine, we can quickly become stronger. Xiao Yuelon is actually very optimistic. Then she pulled Qin Yun and walked on the street. Because of the sun's abnormal movement, a large amount of sun's energy has been released over the years, so the people of Immortal Desolate can advance by leaps and bounds. One must know that before, there were not that many immortal kings and immortal emperors. But now, almost every once in a while, there would be news of someone becoming an immortal king or immortal emperor. Especially those big powers, because they have enough power, they can enter some dangerous places to find powerful divine fruits or other resources, so they can quickly cultivate even more immortal kings. I thought Xiao Ling and Chu Qian would follow you, Qin Yun said with smile. It's good that they are not here. It's really good, isn't it? Chu Qian is your little wife. And Xiao Ling, she is wearing such a fiery outfit. You must like her very much. Xiao Yuelon pulled Qin Yun's arm and said with a charming smile. Yuelon, I didn't agree to make Chu Qian my little wife, you agreed. Qin Yun curled his lips and said. He feels that Xiao Yuelon must have been led astray by that rogue elf Yu Xiaoling. Don't you think it's a pity that you don't want her? Chu Qian is from the Shiman family. If not for her this time, we wouldn't have been able to subdue 2 inscription beasts so easily. Xiao Yuelon chuckled and said, What's more, her talent is very good. Now she has a very high position in the Guanghan Palace. What kind of inscription beasts did you subdue? Qin Yun pulled Xiao Yuelon and walked forward. He asked with voice transmission. A very beautiful purple-red peacock and a furry big white bear. Xiao Yuelon looked all around and secretly transmitted her voice to Qin Yun. Then she told Qin Yun many things about the 2 inscription beasts. Qin Yun is secretly amazed when he heard this. Because the big white bear was injured and it is very serious, it is difficult for it to heal, so Yu Xiaoling and Shiman Chuqian brought it back. Xiao Yuelon plans to stay here to inquire about the inscription beasts, so she didn't go back. Now, Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon also want to enter the mysterious blue leaf sacred forest that is as vast as the sea. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon are both Xian immortals, and Xian immortals are the strongest in Xian province. In Earth province, there are Earth immortals, Tao immortals and Golden immortals, 3 great realms. Among them, Golden immortals are the strongest. However, Qin Yun didn't see any Tao immortals or Golden immortals. He only saw a few Earth immortals. Chapter 14:16. Bewitching Spell? After the sun-suppressing divine arrows were taken away, a large group of immortal kings and immortal emperors left, and the balance in Earth province was restored. Otherwise, the usually arrogant Tao immortals and Golden immortals would have to continue hiding, not daring to come out. After all, they were worried that they might accidentally encounter some powerful celestial kings. At that time, they might be slapped in the face. Now, as the immortal kings and immortal emperors returned to Tianzhou, the Tao immortals and Golden immortals gradually came out. Immortals of different cultivation realms would usually stay in their own areas and would not run to other places to behave atrociously. This was also a custom that had been established in the Immortal Desolate for many years. For example, Earth immortals, Tao immortals, and Golden immortals wouldn't go to Dusk province to oppress arcane immortals unless there was a deep grudge between them. Although there would not be any punishment, it would break the balance and cause some people to be dissatisfied. If a powerful Earth immortal went to Dusk province to kill, then a powerful immortal king and immortal emperor might come from Sky province for revenge as well. Chaos would ensue if that happened. Yuelon, aren't we going to leave the city and head to the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest? Qin Yun saw Xiao Yuelon strolling around the city and asked in puzzlement. Yeah, but I'm looking for someone. Xiao Yuelon chuckled and said, Someone you are very familiar with. When the time comes, let her bring us to the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. She has been active in this area for a long time. Who is it? I thought the two of us went in together. Let's properly enjoy the world of the two of us, Qin Yun said with mischievous smile. Xiao Yun, we're going on an adventure, Xiao Yuelan said with a smile. Two people world. Adventure and romance do not conflict. Qin Yun pinched Xiao Yuelan's face and giggled. Don't worry, our amorous affair will not be disturbed. Xiao Yuelan smiled sweetly, blinked her eyes and said mysteriously, Guess who I'm going to look for? Qin Yun thought for a moment, then shook his head and said, I can't guess. Xiao Yuelan brought Qin Yun to walk on the street and pointed to a few secret marks on the wall. It is a very ancient method of contact and it is very troublesome. It can be seen that the person Xiao Yuelan is looking for does not have the magic mirror. Guanghan Palace did not use the magic mirror on a large scale before. This is mainly because Yu was worried that the magic mirror would steal information. Reality proved that her worries were correct. Without a specially refined mirror, the Emperor would be able to receive all the messages. After searching for half a day, in the evening, Xiao Yuelan finally brought Qin Yun to a small dilapidated building. She came to the door of the house and gently knocked on the door. The person who opened the door was a black-robed woman wearing a mask. Qin Yun did not see this woman, but he could feel a very familiar feeling. Especially the fragrance on her body, it was very familiar to him. Aunt! Xiao Yuelan chuckled. Yulan, who is he? That woman asked doubtfully. My husband, Xiao Yuelan said as she pulled Qin Yun inside. After Qin Yun entered, he was alarmed because he knew who the masked woman was. It was Xiao Xianqin. Xiao Xianqin took off her mask. Her fair and beautiful face was filled with doubt. Her frowning eyebrows gave her a different kind of charm. When Qin Yun saw the beautiful and elegant woman again, his heart palpitated for some baffling reason. Xiao Xianqin had experienced danger with him several times, and they met very early on. Later on, Xiao Xianqin awakened her past life's memories, and hated him very much. Fortunately, they reconciled in the end. Now, Qin Yun is suffering heavenly punishment and Xiao Xianqin has not cultivated a sacred tear soul, so she has forgotten about Qin Yun. Yuelan, when did you have a husband? Have I seen him before? Why does he look so familiar? Xiao Xianqin looked at Qin Yun and felt that he looked familiar. Aunt, he is Qin Yun, Xiao Yuelan said with a smile. Ah, the one who destroyed the sun altar? Xiao Xianqin cried out in alarm. Hello, Aunt Xiao, Qin Yun said with a smile. Hello. Xiao Xianqin also smiled. When Qin Yun heard of Xiao Xianqin before, she was still a moon zither Xian immortal. But now, it seems that she has already surpassed Xian immortal and is an earth immortal. Xiao Yuelan said, Aunt, we are preparing to enter the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. Can you bring us in? Xiao Xianqin nodded and said with a smile, Of course I can. She can't help but look at Qin Yun a few more times because Qin Yun gives her a very strange feeling. Not only is it a familiar feeling, it also makes her heart beat wildly. She doesn't know why she has this kind of feeling. Xiao Yuelan also noticed the way Xiao Xianqin is looking at Qin Yun. Of course she knows about the entanglement between Qin Yun and Xiao Xianqin. She giggled from the side, as if she found it very interesting. Yuelan, come with me. I have something to discuss with you. Xiao Xianqin promptly pulled Yuelan to a secret room upstairs. Qin Yun waited in the hall. He is also recalling the various events that happened between him and Xiao Xianqin. The zither martial spirit in Xiao Xianqin's body was something he helped improve back then. Xiao Xianqin pulled Xiao Yuelan to the secret room and said, Yuelan, that Xian immortal from the Long family came to find me. He wants me to join his team and go to the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest together. Then did you agree? Xiao Yuelan asked. No. Because they want to enter the depths of the blue leaf sacred forest. Because I didn't agree to his request, the Long family is targeting me everywhere, causing me to be unable to do business here. Xiao Xianqin lightly snorted and said, "The Long family is truly tyrannical." Xiao Yuelan smiled and said, "Aunt, don't do business anymore. Bring me and Xiao Yun into the depths of the blue leaf sacred forest." Xiao Yun is from the Inscription Profound sect. He can casually refine something and you can exchange it for many immortal jade beads. Yuelan, your husband is a bit strange. I think he used an evil technique, Xiao Xianqin suddenly said with a vigilant expression. Why do you think so? Xiao Yuelan felt that it is very strange. I suspect that he used a bewitching technique or something. It made me when I saw him, I had a very strange feeling. Sigh, it's just that I'm tempted by him. I've never had such thoughts towards a man before, but when I saw him just now, I just. A blush suddenly appeared on Xiao Xianqin's mature and beautiful oval face. Xiao Yuelan giggled and then laughed non-stop. Xiao Xianqin became even more bashful from Xiao Yuelan's laughter. She said with slight annoyance, "Yuelan, what are you laughing at? That Qin Yun is definitely not a good person. He actually used an evil technique to confuse others. You must have been bewitched by him. He's really bad. Aunt, that's because your heart is budding." Xiao Yuelan is still giggling. "You little girl, what nonsense are you spouting?" Xiao Xianqin bit her lower lip and scolded with hidden bitterness. Then, she lightly hit Xiao Yuelan's head. "You're not allowed to say that about me. My Xiao Yun didn't confuse you. It's more like it if you confuse him. Don't seduce my Xiao Yun." Xiao Yuelan said with a mischievous smile. "Damn girl. What are you talking about? We were good sisters in our previous life. I am your good sister and after reincarnation, I am your aunt. How can you say that about me? It was clearly your Xiao Yun who used a bewitching technique to tease me and you are still speaking up for him." Xiao Xianqin stomped her feet and pouted coquettishly. "Aunt, you'll know in the future," Xiao Yuelan said with a smile. "Hurry up and bring us into the blue leaf sacred forest. Xiao Yun has important things to do inside." "Your Xiao Yun is a big scoundrel, I'm not bringing him." Xiao Xianqin sat on a chair and lowered her head. Her mature oval face is still flushed red. "I don't want to see him again. Once I see him, he will definitely use an evil technique on me and confuse my mind, making me very embarrassed." Xiao Xianqin trusted Xiao Yuelan very much, so she dared to say anything. "Is it because he's too handsome? Then I'll go beat him into a pig's head," Xiao Yuelan said with a serious expression. "Let's go, I'll go down now. Look at me beating him into a pig's head. If he really bewitches you, I'll dig out his heart." "Don't." Xiao Xianqin immediately pulled Xiao Yuelan because she knew that Xiao Yuelan could do anything. "Why, didn't you say that he's a big scoundrel?" Xiao Yuelan curled her lips and said, "I just think it's possible, but I don't have any evidence yet. What's more, he is Qin Yun. He is from the Inscription Profound sect. He destroyed that sun altar and he is also your husband. It's not good to be ruthless before you figure it out," Xiao Xianqin said. Xiao Yuelan said, "That won't do, he just used a bewitching technique on you. I want to teach him a lesson, I want to beat him up. He actually dared to do bad things to my beautiful aunt in front of me." Seeing Xiao Yuelan's angry expression, Xiao Xianqin is also somewhat worried that Qin Yun would be beaten up. She said again, "Yuelan, don't be in such a hurry to make a move. Wait until I'm sure that he used a bewitching technique on me." "Aunt, he has already made you fall in love. Could it be that you still haven't confirmed it?" Xiao Yuelan muttered, "Xiao Yun is so bad, I want to beat him until he can't get out of bed." "Yuelan, don't be too willful. No matter what, he is still from the Inscription Profound sect." Xiao Xianqin clenched her teeth, pulled Xiao Yuelon and persuaded, "Don't hit him, listen to Aunt. Aunt, look at you, why are you so protective of him? You're still saying it's not a bewitching technique?" Xiao Yuelon lightly snorted and said, "Xiao Yun is too bad, he immediately hooked away your heart and soul. I want to beat him to death." Xiao Xianqin pulled Xiao Yuelon's hand and pinched her arm. She said with a face full of hidden bitterness, "Yuelon, are you deliberately teasing me? I can see it. You husband and wife actually teamed up to bully me." She was very angry, sat down and waved her hand. She said lightly, "Quickly go and beat him to death, I won't stop you." "All right." Xiao Yuelon took out a saber and very seriously walked out of the secret room. When Xiao Xianqin saw this, she immediately rushed over and said helplessly, "Yuelon, you win." Xiao Yuelon smiled tenderly and said, "Aunt, Xiao Yun really didn't use a bewitching technique. Don't doubt him, okay? In the future, I'll tell you the reason. Bring us into the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest first." Bang! The small building suddenly shook and a loud sound came out. "Oh no, the people from the Long family are here. Those guys have Earth Immortals and Xiao Yun is still down there." Xiao Xianqin is very worried. Her expression suddenly turned ice cold, and she quickly rushed out. Xiao Yuelon is not very worried because she knows that Qin Yun has the sun-suppressing divine arrow and 9 sun-divine hammer in his hands. He will not suffer any losses. After Xiao Xianqin and Xiao Yuelon walked down, they saw Qin Yun sitting on a chair. A large group of people stood in front of the broken door, all of them have cold, arrogant, and fierce expressions. Chapter 14-17. Magic Mirror Ancestor. Seeing that Qin Yun is fine, Xiao Xianqin secretly heaved a sigh of relief and shouted at the middle-aged man, "Lu Jian, when did I deceive you Magic Mirror sect disciples? It was clearly you who wanted to extort me. The people who came to cause trouble are all Magic Mirror sect disciples. They were also called over by the Long family's Xian immortal. They did not notice Qin Yun because Qin Yun's immortal power aura is very weak. They thought that Qin Yun was a servant or something." The middle-aged man in the lead, Lu Jian, walked into the hall and smashed a table with his palm. He roared, "We kindly sold you 2 magic mirrors at half price and even gave you 2 days of trial. After you tried it, you were not satisfied and returned it, but the magic mirror was broken. Isn't this what you did? Didn't I say it before? It was the magic mirror's own problem. It has nothing to do with me," Xiao Xianqin said angrily. She already summoned her zither and prepared to fight. "That's because young Master Long Ruoheo vouched for you. But now that young Master Long doesn't vouch for you, we naturally have to get it back from you." Lu Jian sneered and said, "Hurry up and compensate. Those 2 magic mirrors were specially refined by us. The materials used are very precious and they are also limited in quantity. They are worth a total of 500 million immortal jade beads." Qin Yun, Xiao Yuelon and Xiao Xianqin immediately understood. Long Ruoheo deliberately let the Magic Mirror sect disciples pressure Xiao Xianqin to make her compromise on some conditions. This is very obvious. "Don't even think about it," Xiao Xianqin said angrily. "Haha, we have reason to collect the debt. If you don't pay it back, even if we make a move, the Lan family won't care. And if you fight back, the Lan family will capture you. You must know that young Master Long is in the Lan family's villa." Lu Jian laughed and sat on a chair. The others also blocked the door, not letting Xiao Xianqin leave. Xiao Xianqin's mature and beautiful jade face is now ice-cold. She said coldly, "If I kill you, then nothing will happen to me." Lu Jian held the magic mirror in his hand and laughed. "Come and attack us." "Xiao Xianqin, although you are a pretty strong Earth Immortal, do you really have enough strength to kill us in an instant? What's more, my magic mirror is open. All the conversation here will be transmitted to young Master Long and the Lan family's young city master. Why don't you try?" This was the Lan family's territory, and the Lan family had a good relationship with the Long family. Long Ruoheo wanted Xiao Xianqin to lead the way and safely enter the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. This was because Xiao Xianqin had grasped an ability that allowed her to avoid all kinds of dangers and safely enter the depths of the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. Xiao Xianqin rejected Long Ruoheo, so Long Ruoheo used this method to force Xiao Xianqin to compromise. Xiao Yuelan secretly transmitted her voice to Qin Yun about what had happened. "We are disciples of the Moon Palace. Does your magic mirror sect want to be enemies with the Moon Palace? Xiao Xianqin is currently in Blue Sky City, and he only has Xiao Yuelan by his side. It is impossible for him to resist the Earth Immortals in Blue Sky City. Even the disciples of the Moon Palace have to be reasonable. You destroyed our magic mirror, hurry up and compensate us. Xiao Xianqin, you are in charge of a lot of business in the Moon Palace. It should be very easy for you to take out 500 million immortal jade beads." Lu Jian chuckled and said, "As long as you compensate us with 500 million immortal jade beads, we won't cause any more trouble for you, right?" Xiao Xianqin was so angry that she gasped for breath a few times, her chest heaving up and down. This is not a problem with the immortal jade beads, but rather she was being blackmailed. The main reason was because of Long Ruoheo's secret instigation. She knew very well that even if she sent away the magic mirror disciples, Long Ruoheo and the Lan family would definitely continue to find reasons to make things difficult for her. "Take out the proof that I damaged the magic mirror and I'll compensate you." Xiao Xianqin is also a very strong woman, it is impossible for her to lower her head to evil forces. "Just you wait, I'll contact the elders of our Moon Palace and send people to fight with you to the end." Xiao Yuelan said coldly, "You must know that our Moon Palace has already obtained 3 sun-suppressing divine arrows. If we were to fight, even if the Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate, Xian family and Long family join hands, they would have to think twice." "Ha ha! Young Master Long already said that whoever obtains the sun-suppressing divine arrow must immediately go and complete one thing. If they don't complete that task, they will die. The people of your Moon Palace who obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow might not even be able to live." Lu Jian laughed loudly. Xiao Yuelan and Qin Yun both know about this matter, because Qin Yun has the sun-suppressing divine arrow. "Xiao Xianqin, contact the people of your Moon Palace. You don't have a magic mirror in your hands, right? The people of your Moon Palace don't use magic mirrors. How are you going to contact them? Use a traditional sound transmission talisman? Can it be transmitted to the moon?" Lu Jian sneered. Xiao Yuelan glanced at Qin Yun and signaled him to help. Qin Yun coughed dryly and said, "Friend of the magic mirror disciple, can you take out those 2 damaged magic mirrors? At least show me where it's broken, right? Who are you? Do you have the right to speak here? Don't tell me you want to be a fool and pay 500 million immortal jade beads for Xiao Xianqin. I don't think you can even take out 50 million. Lu Jian looked at Qin Yun contemptuously. "I can really take out 500 million immortal jade beads." Qin Yun spoke, took out a core fragment and said with a smile, "This is a core fragment, how many 500 million do you think it's worth?" Seeing that Qin Yun can easily take out the core fragment, the corner of Lu Jian's eyebrows twitched. He immediately took out 2 magic mirrors and handed them over to Qin Yun. He said with a sneer, "Take a good look. Brother, let me advise you, don't expect to be able to flirt with the women of Moon Palace like this. They are all very difficult to pursue." Qin Yun shook his head and smiled. He looked at the 2 magic mirrors and found that they are indeed damaged. The runes inside have been maliciously cut off. He poured in blood soul power and quickly repaired the broken runes. Moreover, he reinforced and hid them. If he wants to destroy these 2 magic mirrors again, he must first destroy them. "It's not damaged." Qin Yun looked at it for a while and said, "Did you make a mistake?" After speaking, he lit up the 2 magic mirrors and checked all kinds of information on them. Xiao Xianqin is secretly alarmed. Previously, Lu Jian had come over once and said that she had broken the magic mirror. At that time, she had carefully inspected it and was indeed unable to light it up. However, after Qin Yun casually touched it a few times, it was actually fine. Lu Jian's expression looks like he has seen a ghost. Those few large men's faces are also filled with astonishment. Back then they worked together for a very long time to break the runes inside the magic mirror. Moreover, it was very difficult for anyone to discover it. But now it is inexplicably fine. If the magic mirror is damaged, only the upper echelons of the magic mirror sect can repair it. Especially if the runes inside are damaged, only core inscription masters of the magic mirror sect can repair it. You see, the magic mirror is fine. Qin Yun returned the magic mirror to Lu Jian and said with smile, "All right, it's fine now, you can all go back." Most of these so-called magic mirror sect disciples are just peddling magic mirrors. They don't have the ability to refine magic mirrors. Therefore, they don't know what happened to the magic mirror. Lu Jian took the 2 magic mirrors. His eyes are wide open as he fiddled with them. He is also speechless. Xiao Yuelon said, "Don't tell me that your magic mirror sect doesn't plan to be reasonable? Now that the magic mirror is fine, why aren't you leaving? You broke a door and a table, you can leave after you are done." Qin Yun added, "I recorded your evil deeds just now. I can post it on the magic mirror at any time and let everyone see the despicable deeds of the magic mirror sect disciples." Lu Jian gritted his teeth, put away the 2 magic mirrors and angrily looked at Qin Yun. At this time, Long Ruoheo contacted him. "Young Master Long, there is a problem." Lu Jian did not use mental power to communicate, instead he directly said, "Don't be afraid of them. The 2 magic mirrors you sold are indeed damaged, but they are only temporarily fine. After a period of time, there will definitely be problems again. Let them compensate us first." A cold voice came out from the magic mirror. After Lu Jian put away the magic mirror, he immediately became filled with confidence. He sneered at Qin Yun and said, "You bastard, if you have the guts, post our evil deeds on the magic mirror. The negative news of our magic mirror sect disciples can't even appear on the magic mirror." "Really?" Qin Yun faintly smiled. "Of course it's true." Lu Jian laughed a few times, then looked at Xiao Xianqin and said coldly, "Quickly compensate us with immortal jade beads." Qin Yun took out a magic mirror and posted the process of Lu Jian rushing in and breaking the table and door on the magic mirror. Moreover, he used the nickname Wu Tiantu's godfather to post it. When Xiao Xianqin was so angry that she wanted to attack, Qin Yun suddenly said, "Lu Jian, open the magic mirror and take a look." Lu Jian immediately opened the magic mirror and took a look. A video of him kicking the door and breaking the table immediately popped up. Moreover, it was posted by someone with the nickname Wu Tiantu's godfather. Wu Tiantu is the name of the magic mirror immortal emperor to the public. Not many people know the real name of the magic mirror immortal emperor. What made Lu Jian apprehensive is that the message was posted at the top, angrily denouncing magic mirror disciple Lu Jian's evil deeds, bullying weak women, blackmailing and so on. At this time, Lu Jian's magic mirror suddenly trembled and displayed the word, "Sect Master." This caused Lu Jian's body to tremble in fear, and he promptly connected. "I am the magic mirror sect's sect master Wu Tiantu. Lu Jian, whose subordinate are you? Are you going to commit suicide or should I go to Blue Sky City and crush you to death?" Magic Mirror Immortal Emperor's angry voice came through. Others may not know, but he knows that the message was sent by Qin Yun. He also knows that his Magic Mirror disciple is bullying Guang Han Palace's disciple. Magic Mirror Immortal Emperor is very clear about the relationship between Qin Yun and Guang Han Palace, so he attaches great importance to this matter. This this. Sect Master, this is all a misunderstanding. I will immediately apologize to Big Sister Xiao. Lu Jian is scared silly. His voice trembled as he said, Old man, don't come over, this is really a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding? Quickly tell me, whose subordinate are you? Magic Mirror Immortal Emperor furiously shouted. You bastards, you took advantage of the time I was paying attention to the sun-suppressing divine arrow to do whatever you want. Sect Master, I was truly wrong. It's all my fault. I received benefits from Long Ruoheo, so I deliberately made things difficult for Big Sister Xiao. Lu Jian is so scared that he promptly knelt down towards Qin Yun. Others also knelt down. They are just small fries, facing an immortal emperor's anger. They are scared out of their wits. This uncle, we know we were wrong. Quickly help us put in a few good words, even if you want us to fight Long Ruoheo with our lives. Lu Jian unceasingly kowtowed towards Qin Yun. Xiao Ding, I ran into some trouble in Earth State's Blue Sky City. Qin Yun said. I will immediately contact Blue Sky City's Magic Mirror Supervisor to help you. Magic Mirror Immortal Emperor promptly said. Chapter 1418. Guide Lu Jian never expected that there would be such an awesome person here. Even their Magic Mirror Sect Master, Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror, has to be polite to this mysterious person. He is simply like an ancestor. Lu Jian, you know what to do now. Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror's voice filled with anger came out. I know. Lu Jian really wants to fight Long Ruoheo to the death, but he almost caused their death. Lu Jian put away the magic mirror and said very respectfully, Thank you for saving my life, please forgive this lowly one's previous mistakes. I will do my best to make up for it. Xiao Xianqin knows that Qin Yun is very capable. He once tore down a sun altar and also knows that it is the inscription Profound Sect. However, she never expected that such a young man would be able to make Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror attach such importance to him. All of you get up. From now on, you will listen to Big Sister Xiao. Qin Yun said. Yes. Lu Jian heaved a sigh of relief in his heart and then slowly stood up. He quickly ran to Xiao Xianqin and knelt down to apologize. Xiao Xianqin never expected that these Earth Immortals, whose strength is on par with hers, would kneel down and apologize in such a humble manner. It can be seen that they are truly afraid of Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror. All of you get up. I am preparing to leave the city, but I am worried that the Lan family will not let us leave the city smoothly. When the time comes, you will help open the way. Xiao Xianqin said. She also decided to bring Qin Yun into the depths of the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. All right, we will definitely help open the way. After Lu Jian stood up, he said with a smile, Big Sister Xiao, don't worry. We are still quite strong. Blue Sky City's Magic Mirror Pavilion's supervisor will arrive soon. Are you guys really reliable? The enemy you are facing is the Lan family. This is the Lan family's territory. Xiao Yuelon lightly snorted and said. Of course we are reliable. Lu Jian said very heroically. Those guys from the Lan family are still quite afraid of our Magic Mirror sect. Of course they don't dare to stop us. Xiao Xianqin said, Then let's leave the city now. Xiao Yuelon nodded, then walked over and pulled Qin Yun's hand and walked out of the small building. After Lu Jian and the others went out, they took out a car and let Qin Yun, Xiao Yuelon and Xiao Xianqin sit inside while they followed beside them. Xiao Xianqin controlled the carriage to leave Blue Sky City. On the way, Long Ruoheo and the Lan family kept contacting Lu Jian. Lu Jian could only hold the vibrating mirror and escort the carriage. They ignored the Lan family and Long Ruoheo. The Lan family seemed to know that something had gone wrong and quickly sent someone over. Not far from the city gate, the carriage was suddenly surrounded. Lu Jian, what's wrong with you? Why are you ignoring us? a middle-aged man asked. Lu Jiayan looked at the carriage worriedly. He was ready to go all out and fight. Only by doing so could he atone for his crimes. Qin Yun suddenly sent voice transmission to Lu Jiayan. Secretly tell that guy that you injured us and want to deal with it secretly, don't want to implicate others. I don't want the Lan family to suffer the revenge of the Moon Palace. Lu Jian was just about to take out his weapon when he heard Qin Yun's words. His eyes lit up and he immediately sent a voice transmission to the captain of the Lan family's team, informing him of the severity of the situation. That captain is secretly startled. He did not expect that Lu Jian would actually dare to attack the Moon Palace's people. In order to not implicate the Lan family, he hastily let them go. He didn't even dare to check the situation inside the carriage and acted as if he didn't know anything. Lu Jian secretly admires that old master in his heart and quickly escorted the carriage out of the city. However, not long after they left the city and entered the Blue Forest, a large group of people flew out. "Stop that carriage!" someone suddenly shouted. Lu Jian and his group realized that they are in trouble and promptly took out their weapons. The people flying over are all Lan family's people, they are all wearing Lan family's armor, they are not the team from before. Lu Jian, what's wrong with you? You received young Master Long's benefits. Why didn't you follow young Master Long's instructions? Even if you injured them, you should have handed them over to young Master Long. The middle-aged leader said in cold voice. Old Lan, come here. Lu Jian said in low voice. After that middle-aged man went over, Lu Jian slapped him and sent him flying. Lu Jian furiously shouted, Long, your mother's young master, what do I want to do has nothing to do with you. Don't tell me your Lan family wants to ride on my magic mirror sex head? Are you crazy? Quickly capture them. The middle-aged man who was sent flying furiously shouted. There are more than 10 Lan family people and only 2 Earth Immortals. Lu Jian and his group have 5 Earth Immortals. You want to capture us with just these few people? Lu Jian furiously said. They all took out their weapons. Very quickly, another group of people suddenly flew over. Their clothes are all carved with dragons. Among them are 10 formidable Earth Immortals. Lu Jian, didn't I give you benefits? You took my benefits but did not do anything, you are courting death. The cold and arrogant youth surrounded by the 10 Earth Immortals said, He is Long Ruoheo. You only told us to take the broken magic mirror and cause trouble for Xiao Xianqin. We went to cause trouble for Xiao Xianqin, but after the magic mirror was repaired, this matter ended just like that. Lu Jian sneered and said, We signed a soul contract. If I didn't do as you said, I would have definitely suffered a backlash from the contract. Long Ruoheo and the Lan family people all believe that Lu Jian must have received some benefits from Xiao Xianqin, so he escorted her out of the city. They know that there is a mysterious man beside Xiao Xianqin who can take out a core fragment. Xiao Xianqin suddenly walked out of the carriage and coldly looked at Long Ruoheo. She shouted, Does your Long family want to publicly oppose the Guang Han Palace? Long Ruoheo chuckled. Miss Xiao, I just want you to lead the way for us so that we can safely enter the depths of the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. It's not like I won't give you a reward. I'm too lazy, Xiao Xianqin said angrily. What right do you have to force me to do something I don't want to do? If you have the ability, then enter the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest yourself. You have to do it even if you don't want to. You don't have the magic mirror, you won't be able to contact the Guang Han Palace in a short period of time. Even if we kill you here, the Guang Han Palace will never know about this. Long Ruoheo faintly smiled and waved the folding fan in his hand. At this moment, Xiao Yuelan and Qin Yun also walked out of the carriage. Xiao Yuelan held a magic mirror in her hand and shouted, I've already contacted the palace masters of the Guang Han Palace. They already know about this matter. Don't lie to me, the one in your hand is definitely a fake magic mirror. Not many women in your Guang Han Palace use magic mirrors. especially those palace masters. Long Ruoheo laughed loudly. How are you going to contact them? Lu Jian also thought so before, but now he knows that he is gravely mistaken. The magic mirror in Xiao Yuelan's hand was not refined by their magic mirror sex inscription master but by Qin Yun. He is a very mysterious and awesome person. Long Ruoheo, you have the sun-suppressing divine arrow in your hand, that's why you're so arrogant, right? Xiao Yuelan said with a sneer. I have the capital to be arrogant. So many immortal emperors and immortal kings were unable to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow, but I was able to. Those two great emperors met me and were extremely respectful to me. That's why, Xiao Xianqin, you should obediently lead the way for me. Moreover, you should accompany me to relieve my loneliness, accompany me to sleep or something like that and become my little lover. This is the smart decision. Long Ruoheo laughed proudly. The other Earth immortals of the Long family were also laughing obscenely. A middle-aged man shouted, Do you know young Master Long's status? As long as he returns from the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest, he will immediately become an Earth immortal. In less than 2 years, he will become a Tao immortal, and within 10 years, he will definitely become an immortal king. Our young Master Long has such potential, Xiao Xianqin, why aren't you throwing yourself into his arms? Why are you so stubborn? If our young Master Long wants to recruit wives and concubines, I guarantee that more than half of the women in the city will line up. The Lan family people laughed and said, The sun-suppressing divine arrow in young Master Long's hand is a divine tool. It can easily resist a sacred tool, and within 20 years, he will definitely become an immortal emperor. The immortal desolate might be destroyed in a few hundred years. Within these few hundred years, young Master Long can rely on the sun-suppressing divine arrow to enter the sacred desolate. As long as you follow him, you can also enter the sacred desolate in the future. Long Ruoheo, you are a second-level Xian immortal and I am only a first-level Xian immortal. As long as you defeat me, my Aunt Xiao is willing to lead the way. If you lose, give me the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Do you dare to fight? Xiao Yuelan said coldly. She is wearing a veil and it is impossible to see her appearance. Even if he saw it, Long Ruoheo would not know that it is Xiao Yuelan. Long Ruoheo laughed loudly a few times. Just as he was about to agree, he was pulled by an old Earth immortal. They are rather cautious about the matter of the sun-suppressing divine arrow. What right do you have to bet with my sun-suppressing divine arrow? Long Ruoheo said with sneer. You guys are not worthy. Qin Yun said to Lu Jian. You guys previously said that you would fight with your lives on the line. If you fight with your lives on the line, will you be able to block those Earth immortals? Lu Jian really wanted to say no. He really wanted to run away, but he didn't dare because he would definitely die miserably. The 10 Earth immortals beside Long Ruoheo and the 2 Earth immortals from the Lan family have already surrounded Qin Yun and company. They want to forcefully capture Xiao Xianqin to lead the way. Suddenly, Long Ruoheo's magic mirror vibrated. He took it out and said with a frown, Grandfather is contacting me. After he accepted, he heard an old man's angry voice. Xiao Hao, you want to capture Xiao Xianqin to lead the way and you want her to sleep with you? Long Ruoheo thought that the magic mirror in Xiao Yuelan's hand was fake. He never expected that she would actually record what he said and send it to the magic mirror. This way, the Guanghan Palace will definitely know. Grandfather, Xiao Xianqin has mastered a secret technique that allows her to safely enter the depths of the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. Our Long family shouldn't need to be afraid of the Guanghan Palace, right? Long Ruoheo said in a low voice. The Guanghan Palace has 3 sun-suppressing divine arrows. Not to mention our Long family. Even if the Devil Immortal Heavenly Gate and the Xian family join hands, we can't guarantee that we can defeat the Guanghan Palace. The old man's grave voice came from the magic mirror. Quickly release them and apologize. Long Ruoheo is very angry. He cut off the connection and put away the magic mirror. He shouted angrily, "Don't be afraid of the Guang Han Palace. So what if they have 3 sun-suppressing divine arrows? They might not be able to complete their mission. Do it, capture Xiao Xianqin. Go." Qin Yun shouted to Lu Jiyan and company, "Follow my instructions." Chapter 14-19. Divine Arrow changing owner. Qin Yun and the others are inside the forest filled with huge blue trees. Looking from the blue sky city gate, they can only see many huge tree trunks. They can't see what is happening inside. Earlier, Qin Yun secretly sent a sound transmission to Lu Jiyan, telling them to fight 1 against 2 Earth Immortals and he will support them from behind. After Lu Jiyan received the meteor hammer, he immediately realized that it is a very powerful weapon. Xiao Xianqin is also the same. She knows that the sacred saber is very strong, especially after pouring in immortal power. She can clearly feel that the immortal power has increased by a lot, moreover it has become very berserk. This is a weapon that has not been refined yet and it already has such power. If it was refined, it would definitely become even stronger. After Lu Jiyan and the others attacked, Qin Yun promptly threw out the sacred tier armors of Ling Wanquang and the other sacred desolate warriors. Following his control, the armors accurately flew towards Lu Jiyan and the others. After touching them, they automatically wrapped around their bodies. Although the sacred tier armors are already damaged, they still have very strong defensive power. It is just that they can't form a barrier. Xiao Xianqin, Lu Jiyan and the others have exactly 6 people. They also have 6 sets of armors. After wearing them, it will allow them to have even stronger defensive power. Scram! Although this is the first time Lu Jiyan used a weapon like the meteor hammer, he is after all an Earth Immortal. He has lived for many years and can immediately use it. He swung the meteor hammer towards the Lan family Earth Immortal. After the meteor hammer was infused with the Earth Immortal's immortal power, it became fiery red and emitted intense flames. It quickly smashed towards the Lan family Earth Immortal's head. Boom! Although the armor on the Lan family Earth Immortal's body released a protective barrier, it was still smashed by the meteor hammer. His head is badly bruised and bleeding. This kind of powerful feeling made Lu Jiyan feel incomparably excited. The other Earth Immortals from the Magic Mirror sect also rushed over to fight with the Earth Immortals. Their bodies suffered continuous fierce attacks, attacked by various immortal tools, causing boom boom boom, shaking sounds, but their bodies did not suffer any injuries. Xiao Xianqin wildly brandished the sacred saber in her hand and fiercely chopped at 2 Earth Immortals. One of the Earth Immortals' hand was chopped off. The battle between earthly immortals was very intense. The forest was suddenly shrouded by all kinds of powerful energy. The giant blue trees nearby were also very powerful. Despite being attacked by all kinds of violent earthly immortal powers, they only shook violently and were not destroyed. An Earth Immortal Realm warrior of the Long family shouted, "Those guys are all wearing sage-level armors. That saber and meteor hammer are both sage-level weapons." After Long Ruoheo heard this, he was very shocked. There were still 2 Earth Immortals protecting him by his side. They released a barrier to block the shockwaves of the great battle. "You two, quickly go and help. Kill those guys and the sacred tool will be yours." Long Ruoheo shouted. "Young master, there are 2 Xian Immortals over there, especially that man. He was the one who took out many saint artifacts and saint-grade armors. We have to protect you." An old man said. "I have the sun-suppressing divine arrow in my hand. In front of me, a sacred tool is just a piece of paper." Long Ruoheo suddenly took out a silver rod-like thing. "That is the sun-suppressing divine arrow." Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelan are watching from afar. They have just become Xian immortals. They are unable to intervene in the battle between Earth immortals. Long Ruoheo shouted in a low voice. Quickly go and help. Our people's injuries are not light. The two old men protecting Long Ruoheo also flew out and charged towards Xiao Xianqin and Lu Jieyan respectively. And at this moment, Long Ruoheo quickly charged towards Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon. He said with an evil grin, "You two go and die first." Xiao Xianqin wanted to charge towards Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon, but she was blocked by the old man. "Aunt, don't worry about us," Xiao Yuelon shouted. "Long Ruoheo's speed is very fast. He is indeed worthy of being a very powerful Xian immortal." In a few blinks of an eye, he arrived in front of Qin Yun and the sun-suppressing divine arrow in his hand shot out. Boom! Qin Yun suddenly released supergravity, and Xiao Yuelon released vibration power to coordinate with it. Long Ruoheo was immediately shaken to the point where he stood motionless. Qin Yun and Xiao Yuelon stood together and simultaneously released a suffering divine ability power that entered Long Ruoheo's body. Long Ruoheo's body has a very strong armor that blocked the attack of the divine ability power. You have some skill, but in front of the sun-suppressing divine arrow, only death awaits you. Long Ruoheo tightly gripped the sun-suppressing divine arrow. The armor on his body released a berserk power. He struggled free from the supergravity and once again charged towards Qin Yun. Xiao Yuelon suddenly disappeared and flashed behind Long Ruoheo. And Qin Yun also dodged Long Ruoheo's sun-suppressing divine arrow. At this moment, Xiao Yuelon's eyes shot out two red lights. This is her sacred eye, it can release very strong mental power attack. His armor is very strong, Xiao Yuelon said. It can resist all kinds of energy attacks. Long Ruoheo turned around and charged towards Xiao Yuelon and shouted, "Proud woman of Guanghan Palace, I will let you experience my Long Ruoheo's majesty." Previously, he was attacked by Xiao Yuelon and Qin Yun several times, but none of them were able to break through. Therefore, he is very confident in the armor on his body and is not afraid of exposing his back to the enemy. Just as Long Ruoheo charged towards Xiao Yuelon, Qin Yun suddenly flew over. A fiery red long arrow appeared in his hand. It is his sun-suppressing divine arrow. Go to hell. The long arrow in Qin Yun's hand pierced towards Long Ruoheo's head with a "xiao" sound. It struck Long Ruoheo's protective energy barrier and produced a rumbling explosion. Long Ruoheo's armor was broken in an instant and his head was pierced by the sun-suppressing divine arrow. In that instant, he knew what had pierced him. It was the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Xiao Yuelon immediately flashed over and snatched the sun-suppressing divine arrow from Long Ruoheo's hand. Although Long Ruoheo's head was pierced, he did not die. He laughed sinisterly and said, "You all think that the sun-suppressing divine arrow can be snatched so easily? Whoever snatches my sun-suppressing divine arrow will die, The sun-suppressing divine arrow in Xiao Yuelon's hand constantly erupted with surging power. Her expression is incomparably grave as she shouted, "Xiao Yun, the sun-suppressing divine arrow is going berserk." Qin Yun promptly pulled out the sun-suppressing divine arrow from Long Ruoheo's head and then kicked Long Ruoheo flying. Long Ruoheo's body was sent flying and crashed into a tree trunk. When he landed, he laughed sinisterly and said, "All of you must die. Killing the person who possesses the sun-suppressing divine arrow or snatching the sun-suppressing divine arrow will definitely result in death. Qin Yun arrived beside Xiao Yuelon and grabbed the sun-suppressing divine arrow in her hand. The 9 Sun Divine Spirit also appeared on his wrist. Suddenly, a magnetic voice of a middle-aged man sounded in his mind and asked, "What's going on? Don't you already have the sun-suppressing divine arrow? Why are you still snatching it?" "That person wanted to kill me, I had no choice," Qin Yun said. Senior, that person is not worthy of possessing the sun-suppressing divine arrow. He is an evil and heinous fellow. He relied on the sun-suppressing divine arrow in his hand to kill the innocent. Really? The voice asked. Really? He was the one who first took out the sun-suppressing divine arrow to attack me. Qin Yun said. Good. Then I'll rearrange this sun-suppressing divine arrow. The voice sighed. I believe you because you have the 9 sun divine spirit. Senior, leave it to the woman beside me. She is my wife. Qin Yun is delighted in his heart and immediately said to the voice. All right. Originally, the sun-suppressing divine arrow in Xiao Yuelan's hand constantly surged with a very violent power, but now it has gradually calmed down. The sun-suppressing divine arrow in Xiao Yuelan's hand suddenly turned deep red and stabilized. When Long Ruoheo saw this scene on the ground, he shouted in shock. What's going on? Why aren't you guys dead? Why did I lose connection with the sun-suppressing divine arrow? You're dead for sure. Qin Yun rushed over and pierced Long Ruoheo's body with an arrow. Furthermore, he released a very strong flame. Boom boom boom. Qin Yun stabbed 3 times in a row. Each time, a fierce and crazy flame burst out and penetrated Long Ruoheo's body. Just 3 stabs, the flame poured in and burned Long Ruoheo's body, leaving behind only a tattered soft armor. Xiao Yuelan tightly held the sun-suppressing divine arrow. She is also extremely excited. She never thought that she would use this kind of method to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Young Master Long is dead. An old man suddenly shouted. What? Let's quickly run and send this news back. A middle-aged man from the Long family shouted. Qin Yun promptly took out the Devil Mirror and informed the Devil Mirror Immortal Emperor to seal all the nearby Devil Mirrors and prevent any news from spreading out. Within the Blue Forest, a few Long family Earth Immortals are covered in injuries. They are frantically fleeing. Xiao Xianqin and Lu Jiayan are closely chasing from behind. Boom! Lu Jiayan threw out the meteor hammer in his hand. The spiked hammer head rushed out like a meteor and pierced through the body of a Long family Earth Immortal. Xiao Xianqin promptly took out her zither and plucked the strings. Waves of sound waves quickly rushed out, bringing along a kind of wonderful string sound that enveloped the surroundings. Strangely, Xiao Xianqin unceasingly plucked the zither strings. The translucent sound waves actually floated up and then gradually turned into a whirlpool, producing a burst of strong wind. Although those few people are running forward, they are unknowingly following the whirlpool's cantilever and circling around. After running a few times, they actually followed the whirlpool and circled back. It is very strange. Lu Jian saw Xiao Xianqin's move and his heart is filled with fear. He promptly brandished the meteor hammer and attacked an Earth Immortal. Boom boom boom. Lu Jian's strength is also not weak. Now that he is using a sacred tool to fight against Earth Immortals of the same level, it is as if he is invincible. In just a short moment, more than 10 Earth Immortals from the Lan and Long family have been killed by Xiao Xianqin and Lu Jian. We won. We won. Lu Jian tightly held the meteor hammer. He is very excited. Yes, quickly return the thing to me. Qin Yun laughed and said, You must keep it a secret, otherwise Lan and Long family will not let you off. Although Lu Jian is very reluctant in his heart, he still returned the meteor hammer to Qin Yun. He doesn't dare to act recklessly now because he already knew that Qin Yun has the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Chapter 1420. Forest Maze. The other Earth Immortals from the Magic Mirror sect returned the armor to Qin Yun. They had no intention of keeping it for themselves. Although Qin Yun's cultivation level was not high in front of them, he definitely had many powerful items in his hands. Furthermore, he was Immortal Emperor Fiend Mirror's godfather. Alright, you can go back now. If someone asks about this, just say you don't know. I will inform Immortal Emperor Devil Mirror. Qin Yun said. Xiao Xianqin originally wanted to return the holy saber to Qin Yun, but Qin Yun told her to keep it for now because she still needed to lead the way. Sir, be careful, Lu Zheyan said respectfully. Got it, goodbye. Qin Yun nodded, then followed Xiao Xianqin into the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest with Xiao Yuelon. Lu Zheyan and company sent Qin Yun off with their eyes. Only then did they clean up the corpses here. They can also fish out some things. Aunt Xiao, are you injured? Qin Yun asked. No. The armor you gave me is very strong. I have been attacked by their weapons many times, but my body is a little uncomfortable from the shock. I am not injured, Xiao Xianqin said with a slight smile. Aunt, do you know how powerful Xiao Yun is now? Xiao Yuelon waved the sun-suppressing divine arrow in her hand and said with a charming smile, I also have the sun-suppressing divine arrow. Xiao Yun, did you obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow with our Moon Palace's Immortal Emperor Yu Yu and divine emissary Rujing? Xiao Xianqin asked. She knows that Yu Yu and Xian Rujing are in the vicinity of the sun-suppressing divine arrow. She thought that Yang Shuriwei would be the one to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow. And Qin Yun nodded. It was Xiao Yun who helped them get it. Xiao Yuelon was very proud of herself. She smiled mischievously and said, Aunt, is my husband qualified? At this time, they also slowed down and walked in this strange blue forest. Xiao Xianqin said with a smile, You little girl, you didn't even tell me that you found such an outstanding man. You don't even have me in your heart. She now knows that Qin Yun is truly capable. However, letting the three women of the Guanghan Palace obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow would allow the Guanghan Palace to possess even greater strength. Xiao Yuelon giggled. Aunt, Xiao Yun is a very outstanding man? Then why did you say that he used a bewitching spell on you? Stop it. Xiao Xianqin immediately covered Xiao Yuelon's mouth and looked at her with hidden bitterness. She said in a low voice, Yuelon, Aunt is begging you. Don't speak nonsense, okay? Qin Yun asked in puzzlement, What bewitching art? Xiao Xianqin did not dare to look at Qin Yun and said in a low voice, It's nothing. It's all a misunderstanding caused by my suspicion. Xiao Yun, don't think too much. Let's hurry up and enter the inner parts of the forest as soon as possible. Qin Yun looked at Xiao Yuelon and suddenly felt that Xiao Yuelon is as mischievous as her younger sister Xiao Yuemei. Xiao Yuelon playfully stuck out her tongue at Qin Yun and said with a smile, Little scoundrel, don't think too much about it. Let's go. Xiao Xianqin's heart became even more chaotic. She wanted to take a few more glances at Qin Yun, but she didn't dare to. She was worried that Xiao Yuelon would overthink something. She suddenly felt that this chaotic state of mind had a very familiar feeling, as if she had experienced it many times before. Qin Yun did not know what Xiao Xianqin was thinking. He only felt that he owed this woman in his previous life. Aunt, you once knew Xiao Yun, Xiao Yuelon suddenly said. However, you suddenly lost that part of your memories. How is this possible? Xiao Xianqin hurriedly turned her head and looked at Qin Yun. Yes. Qin Yun nodded. Aunt Xiao, we once knew each other and we even experienced many things. Then what was my relationship with you before? Why did I forget this part of my memories? Xiao Xianqin hurriedly asked. Because I was punished by the heavens. Qin Yun sighed softly. Xiao Yuelon hurriedly walked over and held Xiao Xianqin's hand. She told her why she had forgotten about Qin Yun and how she could recover this part of her memories. After Xiao Xianqin heard this, she also felt that it was inconceivable. She never expected that her relationship with Qin Yun would be so good. Of course, Xiao Yuelon did not tell her about the conflict with Qin Yun. In his previous life, Qin Yun was the immortal King Fu Yun. Xiao Xianqin's name was Yu Qin, but she was tricked by Qin Yun. Qin Yun stole her undergarment and sold it. She was even swindled of many things. When Xiao Qian awakened her memories, she shouted at Qin Yun to kill him. Fortunately, Qin Yun did not have the memories of his previous life, so Xiao Qian endured it. Furthermore, after being saved by Qin Yun, a few things happened, causing her to gradually have an indescribable good impression of Qin Yun. Only then did she let go of that matter. Aunt Xiao, actually, you and I still have some misunderstandings which caused you to almost kill me. Qin Yun continued. If you had cultivated a saint-level soul and recovered your memories, you would definitely have wanted to kill me when you thought of those things. This. Impossible. Xiao Qian said with a frown. Then what did you do to me? It's nothing much, it's all from my previous life. He stole some of your things. Xiao Yuan smiled and said, Aunt, you and him have both reincarnated. Don't worry about the small conflicts from your previous life. Hurry up and bring us into the depths of the forest. Xiao Qian smiled at Qin Yun and said, Xiao Yun, don't worry. Even if I recover my memories, I will definitely not kill you. If it wasn't for your help, I would have been in a lot of trouble. Besides, you have done a great favor for our Guanghan Palace, allowing the great palace master and the others to obtain the sun-suppressing divine arrow. I don't even know how to thank you for this great favor. Xiao Yuan smiled sweetly and said, He is my husband and he has many friends in the Guanghan Palace. Helping the Guanghan Palace is also a matter of course. Does Xiao Yun know many disciples of the Guanghan Palace? Xiao Qian said in surprise. Of course I know him. He's a scoundrel. He used a bewitching technique on many beauties of my Guanghan Palace and bewitched their hearts. Aunt Xiao, you have to be careful. He's bad, don't be bewitched by him. He still has many concubines in the Guanghan Palace. Xiao Yuan smiled mischievously before running over and hammering Qin Yun's chest. Qin Yun was speechless. He felt that Xiao Yuan in front of him had been possessed by Xiao Yuma. Xiao Qian frowned and said, Yuan, don't be naughty. You little girl, you are always so naughty in front of acquaintances. I quite like your cold appearance. You're cool and you don't talk much. How worrisome. Qin Yun also nodded. A cold and emotionless Yuan is a good Yuan. You two are teaming up to bully me. Xiao Yuan pouted and said, Look at the two of you, you're thinking the same thing. Yuan, stop messing around. Qin Yun chuckled and patted her butt. Xiao Yuan laughed in anger and said, Scoundrel Xiao Yun, you actually touched my butt in front of my Aunt Xiao. Xiao Qian looked at Xiao Yuan with hidden bitterness. She knew that Xiao Yuan was deliberately teasing her. Let's hurry up. Xiao Qian said. Aunt Xiao, this is for you. Qin Yun took out a magic mirror and handed it to Xiao Qian. This is a magic mirror I refined. There's no problem with it, you can use it without worry. You can use this magic mirror to contact Sister Yang and the others. Xiao Qian took it and played with it for a while. She realized that you and a few others have been recorded inside. She can contact them at any time. How many immortal jade beads? Xiao Qian asked. Xiao Yuan patted Xiao Qian's butt and said with a smile, We're all family, why do you need immortal jade beads? I don't know how to thank you for leading the way for Xiao Yun. After saying that, she looked at Qin Yun and teased. Xiao Yun, how are you going to thank Aunt Xiao for leading the way? Xiao Qian pinched Xiao Yuan's face and said with a chuckle, Yuan, you're becoming more and more mischievous. Aunt Xiao, how did you safely enter this forest? Qin Yun asked curiously. This forest can form a very strange maze. After entering, if you're not careful, you'll fall into the maze. And inside the maze, there are all kinds of maze-killing formations and there are also many inscription beasts. When Xiao Qian mentioned this matter, her charming and beautiful face is filled with a proud smile. As for me, I can see through those maze formations. Even if I fall into them, I can still come out. Qin Yun is slightly alarmed and hurriedly said, "The sound wave created by the zither earlier was like a maze formation. Could it be because of this?" Xiao Xianqin nodded and said with a smile, "This is an ability that I unknowingly mastered. It can be considered a divine ability. Anyway, I don't know how to see through the maze formation." Xiao Yuelon held the sun-suppressing divine arrow and said, "I also received that mission." The sun-suppressing divine arrow floated in the air, pointing in a certain direction. "I want to go this way." Xiao Yuelon looked at Qin Yun and asked, "Xiao Yun, what about you?" Qin Yun also took out the sun-suppressing divine arrow and pointed in the same direction as Xiao Yuelon. "Aunt Xiao, have you entered the depths of the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest before? What's inside?" Qin Yun felt that there must be something special about the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. "I've never entered the depth. Although I can see through the maze formation and not be disturbed by it, some of the inscription beasts inside are still very strong. I have to be extremely vigilant in order to avoid being discovered by the inscription beasts." Xiao Xianqin sighed softly. "It's still very dangerous inside. Even if Long Ruoheo brought 10 strong Earth Immortals with him, he wouldn't dare to casually enter." Xiao Yuelon looked at the sky and could only see many blue leaves. "She is surrounded by straight blue tree trunks," she muttered. "If I had known earlier, I would have let Xiao Ling come over. She would definitely be able to sense the inscription beast. If Xiao Ling comes, then the heavens will be overturned." Xiao Xianqin said with slight anger, "You Xiaoling, this sun fairy is very bad. Previously, when I was sleeping, she touched me all over the place." Qin Yun slapped Xiao Yuelon's butt again and said with a smile, "Yuelon, don't learn bad things from you Xiaoling, okay?" He finally understood why Xiao Yuelon became so mischievous in front of acquaintances. It is because of Yu Xiaoling's influence. Yu Xiaoling, this sun fairy, had fused with Xiao Yuelon's soul. Xiao Yuelon must have been affected by the soul fusion. Qin Yun secretly despised Xiao Yuelon for being so easily affected. The Ling Yun in his mind is also a very perverted and bad little fairy, but she has never affected him. "Dad, I also have the sun-suppressing divine arrow. I'm entering the Blue Leaf Sacred Forest. Are you also inside?" Qin Yun suddenly took out the magic mirror and contacted Qin Long. Xiao Yun, you Sai. Qin Long Sai was heard. "You must be careful when you enter, this place is very dangerous." "Dad, what's wrong?" Qin Yun asked immediately. "You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.